Donovan, how are you feeling? What's going through your mind right now? 48 hours after the fact, after the incident,
I mean, listen.
after the Halliburton attacks.
I mean, look, I talked to Jalen and Josh this morning, right? They said that they was locked in. So we'll see what's happening tonight. You know, Josh said, he's like, listen, I've been playing a lot of MLB The Show again. He doubled down on that. I was like, I don't know if you really want to tell everybody that. He said, nah, just trust me. So listen, we got one game at home. I feel fine. I feel okay.
Well, we're asking him now because at the start of this show, we're recording this Thursday, May 29th at 12:11 p.m. Central Standard Time. What we're going to do today, as you see by the title, the main part of this episode is going to be us ranking our top 25 most fun players to watch in the NBA this year. That'll be the bulk of the episode in hour 2. But in hour 1, we're going to record, as we do every playoff series when these mid episodes come out, we're going to record tonight after Game 5 of Knicks versus Pacers. So you see his face now. You see the, I don't know, subdued confidence he has now, or maybe the subdued fear he has now. We can't tell. It's hard to get a read for him right now with his team being down 3-1. But we will be recording after the fact, so you will see what the reaction is based on however Game 5 goes.
He indeed did not talk to Josh or Jalen Brunson or nobody. You have no connections whatsoever. You opened this morning, brushed your teeth, and you came straight to the
His ass
studio.
is not plugged in. Yeah, man. Like I said, we're going to rank the most fun players to watch. That should be a fun conversation. We're going to react to tonight's Pacers versus Knicks games. We're going to talk about the OKC Thunder advancing to the finals, Timberwolves going home. All that should be a real fun episode for you guys. Let's jump right into it. Before we get to the first part of the episode, I almost forgot to tell you guys about a special drop we have tomorrow. You guys know what we do every single year. We go to the NBA Combine. You guys saw us post about it on social media potentially. You guys saw the episode last year where we talked to all the players at the top of the 2024 NBA draft class. Another one. Here go one more for you.
Who is your favorite player to talk to? Me personally, I think it might be Trey Johnson.
Trey Johnson.
Yeah, he's a funny dude.
That's our favorite. I'm going to play for you guys a sneak peek at that. This will be out tomorrow. If you guys are watching on Saturday or later, it'll be out today for you. It's already there. Check it out. Second part of this week's drop. It'll be its own episode. Go watch it. See who we talked to in the class. See Trey Johnson. See Ace Bailey. See Cooper Flagg. See Dylan Harper, etc. Yeah, man. Cue the highlight reel. We got Ace Bailey.
That's crazy. This is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Bro?
Yeah.
That means the rest of them is
How many versions of you would you need to take down a gorilla?
1,000.
1,000?
And then you're gonna see him punch another one in the face. His face gonna be over there. And you're gonna be like, damn.
Us for 25 of us each. So it's a combination of body types and
No,
athleticism.
don't do us like that. Don't do us like that.
He just looked at
I
my
know.
physique. He's like,
People will say passing,
Yeah.
but I can pass though. If you look back, I can pass very, very good.
Trying to make a lot of different winning plays and impact the game in more ways than just scoring. Or
Yeah.
Can you expound on that archetype? What is that?
yeah, what do people?
Yeah.
I mean, people see a 6'5" white guy, and they assume shooter, obviously, which is true.
The cranium is crazy. Oh my god.
I mean, I really don't know what to say.
Crayon eaters rejoice.
Naturally, we had to begin this episode by talking about the end of the Western Conference Finals last night. Timberwolves got sent home in 5. Mo got the prediction exactly right. We thought it'd be OKC in 6. It was 5. Where do we begin?
Can we have a mini funeral for the Minnesota Timberwolves real quick?
Sure, pour one out.
Shout out to Julius Randle. Shout out to Anthony Edwards. The corpse of Mike Conley. I love seeing the effort. Rudy Gobert. No words for you, man. Nas Reed. Holy shit.
Why no words for no Rudy Gobert?
Rudy, I
He's
can't.
just Rudy. You know
Exactly.
I'm
Like, what am I
saying?
supposed to
it's
say,
not
bro?
even-
He's
just Rudy.
there. Exactly. I don't have no
He
expectations.
did his
for
job.
him,
It was
bro.
not enough. It was
Exactly.
nowhere near enough.
Just play a little bit defense, play 19, 20 minutes, get your 4 points, and get the fuck out of here. Simple. The biggest thing that I learned from this series is that Anthony Edwards indeed still has a few ways to go as a superstar in this league. And the biggest thing that we talked about on Tuesday night stream, it wasn't TD3 Tuesday on is it 6 p.m. Eastern and Central time? Instead, we recorded at night right after the game. Still tap in regardless, you should be plugged in. But on that stream, I said, yo, Anthony Edwards, one of the most glaring holes in his game, scoring game specifically, is how limited he is as a scorer. Naturally, you hear that and you're like, oh my God, Anthony Edwards can get to anywhere. He has a fantastic handle and bag. That's true. But he doesn't have the mental psyche just yet in terms of how to get to his spots and choosing his spots and the pace within that as well. The biggest difference that between someone like him and Shea is his mid-range scoring. Last year, Anthony Edwards, he took like 64 mid-range attempts last year in the playoffs against the Dallas Mavericks and all those other teams. And this year, he took that rate was literally split in fucking half, bro. More than half, actually. He took only 30 shots from the mid-range area. And of course, this year, as we all know, the biggest emphasis for him was be a laser from the three-point line. And he went in and he did that. He's a very fast learner, and he's easily one of the most gifted and talented players that the league has to offer today. But how he is from the mid-range area is a genuine issue, because this year, this entire playoff run, he shot just 30% from there compared to last year when he took like 60, 64 attempts, shot like 48, 45% from there, which is obviously much better than what we saw this year. So that right there, he has to change his entire, not shot diet necessarily, but how he approaches the game.
Yeah, exactly. He just doesn't have the counters that someone like Shea has that he's gained over the years. Obviously, you know, being 3 or 4 years younger, naturally he hasn't really developed that part of his game yet. And it shows, because that extra added 3-point shot you talk about off the dribble is an amazing counter to being a slasher. So obviously when you're young and your main goal is to get downhill every time, one-dimensional. Now he's at least two-dimensional, because he has one of the best pull-up threes in the league, which gives you a counter. The games where we see him go crazy is because that pull-up three is hitting. And obviously if you go under the screen because you don't want him to drive, he hits those pull-up threes, unguardable. But that pull-up threes is really only counter. And obviously difficult pull-up threes off of pick and roll has some variance to it. Sometimes I might not be falling, and then everything kind of collapses. Adding that in-between game is going to be the next step for him for sure. If he can be a pull-up 3 threat, a pull-up mid-range threat, and the best driver in the league, then that's when we're going to see the version of him we all expect to see when he's like 27 or whatever, where you're like, oh, okay, this is the next legendary scoring shooting guard.
Yeah. Last night was over. Before even the first quarter was done, it was over.
Yeah.
And there was a stretch of like the first 3 to 4 minutes where Oklahoma City, as disrespectful as they've been, saying, Jaden McDaniels, if you want to win this game, go ahead.
And right, like those shots.
You can have every corner three that you want. Chair Holmgren is not even going to look at your direction. As soon as you get the ball, he's going to turn, box out, and try and get a rebound.
I'm sorry to stop you, but I have a very important call from a very important person.
Please.
Isaac, I got you. We got a very important person on the phone right now.
Who the fuck is that? What is
it's
going on?
It's your twin.
What is going on?
Today's National Isaac Day, and I want to do something special for you.
Your hands over the camera. Wow, this is an unexpected turn. Hello. How you
this
doing?
is a family reunion right here.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody, all the time, what's going on, man? Everybody's always talking about my lookalikes and my doppelgangers. You have as many variants as I do.
Okay, how you doing, man?
Good, man. Yeah, I don't know. One of my reels blew up, and people kept telling me I look like Isaac. So I was like, yo, let me look into this guy, and I was like, oh shit. You know, I think we might be related or something. It's like, I'm from Texas, you're from Texas. I don't know, man. Something might have happened. It might be brother.
Something's afoot. Somebody doesn't know all the information out there.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Well, great. Thank you for getting my doppelganger on the show, I guess.
Exactly. Congratulations, Isaac. I gave him your email. You go ahead. I set up a family reunion for you guys.
My email.
It'll be happening soon.
Oh, great.
Nice meeting you, bro.
Nice meeting you too.
Appreciate you, brother.
Well, that was the most random shit I could possibly imagine.
It was the perfect way to cap off, I guess, Mo's Jimmy Butler run that he's been on, which we haven't said anything about, but I have to say something today because it is the last one. He looks like Viola Davis. Especially in this way.
None of the young
If
kids would
he
know who
walks
that
up the
is.
stairs, it's just going to be... It's going to be crazy.
All right, man. I guess that caps off the talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yep.
You guys know what it is. They made 2 conference finals. They're a young team. There's not even, obviously when somebody loses, gets eliminated, especially deep in the playoffs, there's always a instinct to have some large conversation about how they're so flawed and what can they do to get over the next jump of their development or whatever. Not face the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's what they can do. They're a great team that obviously had gotten a lot better over the course of the year. The OKC Thunder are just a different breed. They are truly a championship caliber team, and the Timberwolves are clearly whatever level is right below that.
Exactly. I
This
agree.
game was...
And what do you know? The Thunder are in the finals. Who would have thought? Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you, because you guys have been screaming this, clamoring for this at the start of the year. You guys had OKC at the top of the top, outside of the Boston Celtics for you, I believe, earlier in the year.
No, I picked OKC to win the title. I was just always so set on Boston being the number one threat out east. And watching this game, it really is like, damn, like, even like it would be so interesting if we were able to get a healthy Boston OKC, because obviously like that was the matchup that we were talking about the entire year. Then obviously everything goes south with Boston. But you look at a lot of these other teams, obviously Minnesota couldn't do anything with them. Even like hate aside, I think that if Indiana does win the series, I think that OKC is going to beat them pretty handily. Yeah. And then they're obviously going to be big favorites against us. We'll see what happens, you know, if we pull out off the comeback. But like, yeah, their path just seems so clear and cut out. It feels like the red carpet is out for them to just go and win this chip. And so I'm honestly very happy for them, especially considering everything. A lot of what people have talked about with this team harkens back to stuff that happened 12, 13 years ago with KD, Russ, and Harden. And the fact that you can kind of have this like full circle moment of having another young big three, and they're on the precipice of getting a chip, and they are probably actually going to do it like for this fan base and for that team. Like, shout out to them, because that is very cool to see that.
Yeah, that's the right way to phrase it. It's just, you just feel good for the Thunder, for all the conversations around them since started last year when they got the 1 seed. And someone like me was up here saying this team is at the least going to be in the conference finals last year. They obviously lost in the second round when they had conference finals type of expectations from people like me hyping them up. And obviously, what's the first thing people say when you lose in the second round when you're expected to potentially go far as number 1 seed? They're frauds, regular season team. They're too young. They're not ready. Nonsense. They just lost a hard series with close games that could have went either way. But sure, maybe they were young at that time. This year rolls around. They have that experience from last year that everyone screams, where's the experience? That was that. They get better. They add Hartenstein. They add Caruso. They don't get complacent. They know they need to keep getting better in an ever increasing level of competition in the Western Conference. And from the jump, it's been so clear this team was the most talented team out west. Everybody decided to doubt them, or the people that did, not everybody, but the people that did decide to doubt them and continue to say they're too young, they're only built for the regular season, whatever. It was always just like wishful thinking. It was always clear if you paid even a little bit of attention to the basketball that was being played all regular season, this team was in a tier of their own in the Western Conference. It was simply a matter of, are they going to stay healthy, and are they going to execute unlike last year and live up to the even greater expectations they have now? They have. They're every bit as dominant as you'd expect them to be. They've trampled through the West. The second they showed a little bit of mortality against the Nuggets, everyone was obviously quick to be like, can't trust the regular season ever. It's a different sport in the playoffs every year. See. They got through that, their hardest test. They're here. They beat the shit out of this team. If they don't win the finals, like we said all year, I will be shocked.
No, it's gonna be insane. And again, the regular season stuff is interesting because if you actually did watch, they went through a lot of injuries during the regular season, and they still, like, the road has not been super, super easy for them to get here. And the fact that they won 68 games without Chet for a lot of time, with a lot of their role players.
Chet was out. iHeart was out, bro. There was an extensive period of time where Jada wasn't there as well. It was insane. You're right. I didn't even think about that in terms of how they weren't even healthy throughout the entirety of the year.
And they still had the best record in the league.
68 wins. And, like, again, people
almost winning 70 is...
If they didn't lose Chet, how many games did they win? They could be rivaling like the record. They losing Chet for a whole year, and even when he came back, he hasn't been nearly as good as he was before the injury for reasons we've talked about. Like, this is truly one of the most dominant regular season teams of all time. And I know we've learned from other teams that regular season success does not always equate to playoff success. That does not mean it never does. And the people that simply have to say, prove it to me in the playoffs, regular season means nothing, I implore you to care about the games you're watching, because 9 times out of 10, the team that wins it all was also fucking fantastic in the regular season. Just because there's a 2015 Hawks out there or a 2025 Cavs, if you want to not give them grace for the injuries, just because these teams exist does not mean the nature of regular season teams being young and good means they have to be bad in the playoffs. Some teams show you everything you need to see and obviously are ready to win.
Brother, earlier in the year, we were watching Jada start at the 5 for them. I forget about those days. Oh
Locking
my
up.
God. Yes, and exactly. And the things that Jada was able to do on a continuous basis on offense and defense, specifically defense, the way he elevated was ridiculous, bro. I never envisioned someone like Jada prior to this year being able to anchor the defense and masquerade at least as your 5, masquerade as your best rim protector, masquerade as the best perimeter defender at times, bro. It's ridiculous what he's been able to do and what OKC overall have been like. All their players just camouflage so well into each other.
Yeah, and they just have they have everything needed to have sustained excellence too. Like they have a great team culture where clearly they're all just like best fucking friends and we're all happy for each other. Every time Shea gets a reward or any type of recognition, points to the teammates. Anytime Shea gets a recognition, the teammates point to him and say, look, we're so happy for him. They have the depth. They have the cheap stars that still have a couple more years before they get expensive. They have the assets to replenish that over time once those guys get expensive and you lose an Isaiah Joe, lose a Caruso, whatever it may be. They've just done everything right from a team building perspective.
Yeah.
And beginning of this year, I said, this is the greatest rebuild we've ever seen. And like that was abundantly clear no matter what the outcome is. There's never been a team put in better position to win now and win in the future than this Oklahoma City Thunder team. And the response to that is obviously, okay, that's fair, but they got to win it first before you can crown them the best rebuild.
Yes.
It looks like we're going to get there. At the very least, they're in the finals. That's enough for me to say, Sam Presti, this is the best job any GM has ever done.
Easily, I agree with you. Like 5 to 6 years ago on my personal YouTube channel, I made a video titled "This could be the greatest rebuild of all time." I said the exact words that just came out of your mouth. Now, obviously, at that time period, I made that. I think I made that video around the Chris Paul era, the Dennis Schroeder era, and when Danilo Gallinari was over there getting them boys tough buckets as well. Crazy fucking time, and. At that time period, they were fresh. They were just getting off the rusting. They just recently traded Paul George to the Clippers and all that. And we saw someone like Shea just sit down and develop behind great guards and Chris Paul, who's still not at the top of his class, but he was one of the better guards that the league had to offer. And also Dennis Schroeder as well, who vastly improved. And that was one of his best career highs at that moment too in time. And seeing how like Sam Presti learned, like he had a generational fumble back then when he drafted Russ, KD, and Harden. Seeing how he handled that, also drafted pretty well around them with Steven Adams, and you could also throw out Serge Ibaka and all that too. Seeing how he just fumbled that and was able to literally replenish that in a decade and staying even harder on all 10 by getting off a Russ when he should have, and also PG2 at the peak of his value is ridiculous.
The Thunder have been around as a franchise for 16 years.
Dumb.
They have 2 finals trips with 2 distinct young cores, with 4 total MVP caliber players, 2 other stars in J-Dub and Chet. Like, Sam Presti's been there the whole fucking time. What a remarkable short history for this franchise.
It's hard to replicate this and duplicate this, especially if you don't have much lottery luck. But hey, this team right here didn't have real lottery luck either, outside of getting number 2 back in 2021 or 2022 with Chet Holmgren. There are the blueprint, them and the Indiana Pacers, in my mind, for small market teams to get their shit together.
That blueprint, trade Paul George. Always do it. It leads to good things. You will make the finals, whether in the East or in the West. In 2025, you trade Paul George, you'll make the finals.
Listen, that's what they're saying. They're saying the dynasty starts after you.
Damn.
By definition, it did.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
And obviously, we'll save that dynasty type of talk for after they win the finals in a week and a half or 2 weeks, whatever it may be. We'll have to have a lot of conversations about what the roadmap for this team looks. But as of now, getting to the finals at the very least when you're this young and have this many reasons to doubt them, amazing accomplishment.
I agree with you.
It's fantastic.
And you know how a couple of months ago, I think I said like, this team feels very reminiscent of the 2015 Warriors. I think me or you said that. I don't know. But
I said that a year ago.
Yeah, it feels like that to a T because, Shea just won his first NBA final. Shea just won his first MVP just like
it's been clear.
Just like Curry. They went ahead and they made their acquisition. For the Warriors, it was Andre Iguodala. For this team, it seems to be Alex fucking Caruso. Then you got your supporting cast who were just ascending right in front of your face. It was Clay and Draymond Green. For this team, it's J-Dub and Chet. Again, you're right. We're going to save the dynasty talk until they actually do the whole thing. But man, oh man, it's scary.
It's just so exciting, right? Like there's such an amazing team just as a fan of basketball that they have me feeling like a fan of Oklahoma. And I've never said anything good about Oklahoma before 14 months ago.
You were just cooking the fuck out of them because of their education.
They don't give a shit about Oklahoma. But this team is such a great story, such a basketball lover's dream that you can't help but root for them.
State full of dummies.
I didn't say all that.
City.
State full of dumb politicians. We can say that.
I saw somebody say, like, if you start seeing 49th in education, OKC's winning the game.
Yeah. So Shea's giving belt. And also shout out Shea too. The performances he's had in the series are great. Obviously, this team has thrown every single coverage you could imagine at him. People were like, why isn't Chris Finch adjusted? He never does adjustments, yada, yada. They're defending the same way as always. He tried. Shea shred every single one of it. Jaden McDaniels does not look like an all-NBA defender when he's guarding Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. And that has nothing to do with Jaden McDaniels. Jaden McDaniels is a swell defender. Again, like we said in the top, the Timberwolves, I don't feel the need to have some huge masquerading conversation about, we got to pretend they're so ass. They got to blow it up. Who are they going to trade for Kevin Durant? No, the Thunder are just better. And they won in the ways they should have.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for them.
Exactly. I agree. There's no need to deconstruct this team or have any overarching, they are a problem. They need to blow this shit up or none like that.
But they do have decisions to make that we should probably talk about. Because they do have a lot of looming questions of free agency that I guess we can talk about. Randall, Nas, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker are all going to be free agents. We had our opinions about what they should do with the situation before the series started, obviously. I think we all probably lean towards keep Nas at all costs. In this playoff run, at times it looked like Nickeil Alexander-Walker is much more important.
It's switch.
Yeah.
Just say it.
What is your plan with those three guys? What do you want to do? What's your vision for this team in the future if you're running the Timberwolves?
The vision is now obviously all of it starts with how do you feel about Julius Randle?
Yeah.
And next year, next year, do you envision Julius Randle on the team again? Or are you going to take another team that went to the Western Conference Finals and trade your second best player and see what you can do and just and make another bet that Ant is going to go up another level? It's worked one time. It's actually worked twice. We'll see if it can happen a third time. But the Randle piece is interesting. I think that they probably will keep him and at least sign him to an extension, especially because it's not like he did have a great run. This series tempered a little bit of expectation. We could probably get a little bit less on that contract, but Naz Reid
dude, he has serious issues. His PR. I said that as if he's a drug addict. I'm sorry.
Yo, Naz Reid needs help.
I say that like he's a crack addict. That's not the case whatsoever. On defense, though, boy, he needs fucking help. Oh my God, I've been so irritated with the display that he was able to put on or wasn't able to put on against these guys in OKC. Yeah. I understand this is for Naz Reid's game, how he operates in the perimeter and all that. This is a fucking nightmare. I remember game 1, game 2, he understood he thought shit was sweet. I remember there was a couple possessions where he was forcing it in the post against someone like J-Dub, I believe, and he wasn't going anywhere. And from that point on out, he didn't really have any real serious fantastic performances in this series. He had one game, I think it was game 3 or whatever, when they were down 2-0. But outside of that, the nature of his game, I'm unsure if it's super conducive to championship basketball, at least not yet. Maybe it's just a matchup thing. It's just a terrible series. I don't know.
It's just not consistent. It's just not a type of game you can rely on when it's a big man who's so reliant on his outside jumper hitting. If he's not hitting from 3, which a lot of times he does, we've seen in past runs.
True.
There's not going to be defensive impact. He's going to make a lot of boneheaded mistakes, make some bad fouls, and he's going to complain about it like nobody else saw what he was doing. There's not going to be a ton of added value outside of the scoring, but the scoring is so good and so clearly impactful when he is on that it's tough because, there's enough highs to latch onto, but enough lows to say, if I got to choose between him or Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who might not have the crazy highs, but is obviously very important to maintaining a good defensive rotation. I don't know, especially when Rudy Gobert took a big step back this year in terms of athleticism. He really, really you see the age cliff really hit him out of nowhere this year after he was DPOY the previous year. So if he's on the way out potentially, do you want to lose even more front court depth long term with Naz Reid being gone? I don't know.
That's one of the questions where when we talked about it on Tuesday, I was like, yeah, Naz Reid, you're out of here. But then also, as I've been thinking about it, coming back next year, Rob Dillingham is going to play a lot more.
Yeah.
And there was times this year where he could have played and injuries just, kind of kept him out. Also, your guy, Terrence Shannon Jr., he showed that he can be a legitimate scoring piece. And so now if you have those two guys,
he looks like a barista.
He does.
I don't know what you're talking about. You guys talking about Jimmy Butler era. This is me. This is not a phase.
Those two guys, if they're inserted into your lineup, especially with Rob Dillingham, are you going to be able to play them? And if you get rid of Naz Reid, just off of just pure size and height, be able to withstand that. So you might have to keep Naz Reid just because you feel like we need 6'10", 6'11", especially if Rob Dillingham is going to be on the floor of Terrence Shannon Jr. Like, we're going to be one of the smallest teams if we get rid of, like, if Rudy is not out there and you have Naz Reid gone, then it's like, okay, this is getting scary.
But then you have the idea of Conley, how he factors in that too. Because you have Gobert and you have Conley as your 1-5, both on their way out. Gobert doesn't have to go now. He still has years of being capable. It's just you saw a difference between 2024 and 2025. Conley's like, he can go. Like, he's like, you won't really.
It's very much like, thank you for your service. You've helped this team for real though. Like, you've helped this team grow, and especially when we have Rudy, like, you saw the difference whenever they had D'Lo and Rudy wasn't getting the ball, and then you have Mike Conley who's like can help Rudy offensively and do stuff like that. Like,
so then you get into an area where you could get rid of Mike Conley, and if you do that money wise, that could be how you afford to keep Alexander Walker and Naz Reid. But then you have a gaping hole at point guard, and we've been saying Ant needs a point guard next to him. You don't want to force him to be James Harden, be your point guard.
Yeah.
Let Anthony Edwards be a shooting guard. So you could do that, get rid of Conley, but then you have even less playmaking help than you already had before. So if you do that, then maybe you got to trade DiVincenzo plus assets for a point guard. And you have on the bench, you have Dillingham, Alexander Walker, Shannon, Naz Reid, whoever else. Like, that's probably the path forward now that I'm saying it out loud. That's probably what you got to do, but that's a lot of moving parts. Everything has to do with one another. And like, if you can't feasibly trade Mike Conley, you can't keep the two role players that are free agents. And you can only trade Mike Conley if you can feasibly get another point guard. So like, there's a cascading effect here of a lot of moving stuff.
If that's the case, if they're looking at it through those lenses, that means that they're already regretting trading not only their pick from 2024, but also a future pick to the Spurs in order to trade up for Rob Dillingham. Like that, he is supposed to be the
He still could be. He might be.
He could be.
Yeah, it's year one.
At the very least, you need 2 point guards, a bench guy like Dillingham and a starter. So whichever level Dillingham can perform at in the coming years, he can slide into one of those spots. But even if he is the bench guy, that's still useful.
You know what you need? You need a mercenary. Chris Paul, welcome. Chris Paul, welcome to the Minnesota Timberwolves. He at this point is just going. He's just going from team to team, right? It's like, oh, you need a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and for somebody who, if you know that Dillingham is not traditional point guard, it's I'm Mr. Bag Work. That's it. That's his game. If I'm just trying to get 15, 20 minutes of Chris Paul, maybe, but like
sorry to cut you off. First, I want to say, how fucking dare you? As somebody who proclaims to like Chris Paul as a player, how dare you? You want to put him in a spot to have to defend Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the conference finals next year. You want him to get crucified on live TV?
At big 39 years old? God damn, man.
Where else would he be? Is he going to go to the East? Like, who in the East?
He's going to a lottery team to mentor a young point guard again. That man is past contributing to winning. I do not want to see him play conference finals basketball. It'll be sad to his legacy.
He only got 10 minutes in the conference finals. That's it. I really just need him there as an assistant coach. That's where he's at.
How do you guys feel about Nickeil Alexander-Walker taking on that spot?
He's not a playmaker. So, I mean, like, if you want to do that, you might as well start DiVincenzo. He's a better point of attack defender, and like have him guard point guards and just like go all in on Ant being your pseudo point guard offensively.
Man.
But I don't really want to see that. I mean, you can. It's possible.
I don't want to
if things break a certain way and they can trade Conley, but they can't find a good point guard to replace him right away, but they can retain their bench players, you can do that. It wouldn't be the best long-term solution, but that could be a stopgap.
Yeah. Whatever it is that they decide to do, if there's any team that I've had more faith in, it's as of late the Minnesota Timberwolves. They've made every single correct move since the day they drafted Anthony Edwards, and I haven't sat down and questioned them seriously as idiots or morons when it comes to transactions that they made during the offseason.
I had some moments. Turns out they won those wars. Exactly. I had some moments. But you're right. They won in the end. The random move made sense. Yeah, so good point. We should trust them. They'll figure it out. These are good scenarios to have, right? We're talking about a lot of outcomes that probably result in still having a good team around one of the best players in the league who's ascending, and Julius Randle, who proved to be a well-fitting second star playing off of both Anthony Edwards and Gobert. So they're in a good spot overall. There's obviously a lot of question marks, but no matter what answer they come to, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
With that being said, the answer is Kevin Durant.
Woo! The writing's been on the fucking wall. Sorry, Julius Randle. Appreciate you for your services.
I don't actually know if they should, but that would be cool.
Bro.
I would be all for it from a fun perspective.
I slipped that in there randomly a couple of months ago, and I'm like, Yeah, man, this is something that it's written on the fucking wall, all over the wall. I need it to happen. It's just so KD coded too, as well. He's a big.
It would make sense. It would.
Yeah.
It would feel right for that
Yeah.
to be the next mercenary move.
Yeah, if it was just loosely talking, what are you giving up for some? What has to be given up for KD?
Not
Jamie?
a lot. KD really controls his destiny. If he says I want to go to the Timberwolves, it's not going to cost a ton. It'll probably cost Randall for salary. Actually, what does Randall make? I don't even know what the salary includes. I'm sure they have some other guys on the bench they can include. So those two, and then young asset wise,
Jaden McDaniels is gone.
no, fuck no, you're not trading McDaniels. But maybe Dillingham, maybe Terrence Shannon, one of those guys.
Damn, that
and
would
then a
suck.
pick or two.
Yeah,
So like Shannon, Randall, and a couple picks.
man, if they were to roll into next season with Jaden McDaniels and Rudy and what Dante James or whatever supporting cast,
I gotta see the money. Maybe Dante would have to be in that. I'm not sure what the money
All
looks
right,
like.
so Julius has a player option next year for essentially $31 million.
Okay, so you need a lot more money to get to KD's salary.
yeah,
KD makes like 55 or something, right?
yeah, Jaden's probably fucking gone.
No, I mean I think they're gonna try to keep Jaden just for they want to win basketball games.
Yeah,
And DiVincenzo next season, essentially $12 million.
So maybe what's Conley make? Hey, whatever. We'll figure it out. If they
yeah,
do that. But
whatever it takes to make KD happen, it's gonna fucking happen.
probably not. I would love this to happen. That's one of my favorite Kevin Durant destinations potentially.
What if? Never mind. I'm just gonna save this for offseason talk.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll have plenty of time to
Yeah,
talk about Kevin Durant
exactly.
trades. But okay. With that being said, we're half an hour in. We're gonna finish hour one by talking about Knicks versus Pacers. And to do that, we're gonna fast forward you guys until tonight. In about 10 seconds, we're going to flip until the things we record after this game. You're going to see Donovan's ISO start. His facial expression will tell you everything about how the game went. Donovan, what is your final prediction before we flip over to tonight?
I'm going Knicks by 6.
Knicks by 6. Okay.
Okay.
And flip. I want to take a quick second to shout out Coinbase for sponsoring this episode of the show. Coinbase is not only the best and easiest place to get started with crypto, it's also the most trusted. It's the only publicly traded crypto exchange, and right now, if you want to get started and try it out, you can get $20 or free Bitcoin when you sign up with the link in the description or use promo code 20Deep3. So once again, shout out to Coinbase for coming on to the show with us this episode. Let's get you right back to the show. All right, Donovan, how do you feel?
Yes, I told you guys. I feel great. I feel much better today than I did the other day. I'll tell you that.
That's fair. Understandable.
Very fair. Very fair. Came up here. I told you guys, Knicks in 7. You guys thought it was Coke. It's just the script.
Okay.
Yeah, understand. And I told you, we didn't need to get 3 games at a time. You have to get game 1. And all that is in front of us is game 6 Saturday night in Indiana. You go and you get that. You give yourself an opportunity. That's all we did, is give ourselves an opportunity. And I mean, listen, here we are. On the first game that somebody's actually won by double digits in this series happened by us. Kind of put belt to ass today. But, it is what it is. We kind of got a Jalen Brunson 30-point game, 4-point playing the Garden. It's okay. It's whatever. We're here. You guys are just here laughing, just ha, 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 ha. Because you saw what went down. You saw what happened.
Shit. Okay.
It's going down again.
Okay.
We're bringing another belt, custom, for every single Indiana player on Saturday.
Are you going to Indiana?
I'm not telling you my plan. Because I try to be a good teammate, right? The whole clip has been surfacing. I try to be a good teammate, try to text you guys early in the morning and be like, hey, what y'all think? And you used it against me on camera.
Absolutely.
I will never forgive you. So I'm not telling you what I'm doing.
Well, like you guys see, we're recording this part. Oh, I guess I already told you guys, but we're recording this at night. We just wrapped game 5 of Knicks versus Pacers. Raw, fresh reactions. Like you guys know we do every time.
Yeah. Bring out the cameras now. Every time the Knicks lose, y'all want to turn it to Streamer University.
I'm just getting
now that we actually won a game, nobody wants to take a picture. Nobody wants to take any type of video.
University.
Shut up. Pissing me off.
Oh man.
So, like you guys obviously know by now, if you're watching this tomorrow or in the future, the Pacers lost this game off the heels of the worst Tyrese Halliburton performance.
You're so stupid.
Off the heels
I'm proud of that one.
of the worst Tyrese Halliburton performance of the playoffs. He had single-digit points, went ghost mode. Yeah, about time, because he's been goddamn amazing so far. Today, we got the other end of that. We started to see some of the habits of whatever he's not super comfortable getting to that 3-point shot. A lot of these scoring back can kind of disappear. Obviously, if you take him out of his rhythm, there's going to be downsides to the way he conducts himself as a scorer. Tonight was one of those nights. vintage Jalen Brunson game, as always, the most consistent scorer in the NBA playoffs. Yeah, you saw the worst version of the Pacers offense. It's the first game of the entire playoffs. They did not score 100 points. Everything went wrong for them offensively. They got, I guess, it was good defense the Knicks. They locked them up, but it was just poor execution in a way we haven't seen from the Pacers this entire playoffs. If you're a Pacers fan, you're probably not worried yet, but you got your eye open. You said, okay, one loss on the road. Okay,
it's like if you're a Pacers fan, you're like, you know what?
That's your one.
That's your one.
Yeah.
You have to come back at home, close it out. But yeah, I don't know. The
Knicks are still behind the 8 ball. They still have.
I mean, of course.
Yeah. But like you feel better, obviously, 'cause you're not eliminated, but it's still on them to show us they can do it again. I'm not panicking about the Pacers yet. I guess what I'm trying to say is that we still expect them to close it out at home if things go to plan. But you saw the blueprint. If they do not get a good offensive game, there's a world in which they could lose.
It feels like a outlier game for the Indiana Pacers. Like, we've never seen them play this bad before. Looking at their starting lineup scoring, Aaron Nesmith, 3 points, only played 15 minutes. Miles Turner, 5 points. Tyrese Halliburton, 8 points. Andrew Nembhard, 6 points. Like, if the starter's going to come out like that and just be flat all around, you have no chance and no hope at all of doing anything impressive.
You know who wasn't flat? Your son, Benedict Mathurin.
Listen, man. You guys called me a madman. They lost. Now we'll say this is twice now, back-to-back games that he's played well and it still didn't fucking matter. They lost. I don't know if I should feel good because, of course, I want to see the Knicks lose. Like, it just brings me another type of joy and passion. The sun just feels brighter. My skin is radiating when the Knicks lose. But seeing Benedict Mathurin do good as well makes me in the past feel happy. But
yeah,
it doesn't matter.
That's fair. I will say, I do feel like, yes, you're right. Obviously, when you're down 3-1, you're going to be behind the 8 ball until you win the series. Like, that's known.
Or tied up at least.
Yeah. The thing that did give me a lot of hope for tonight is that over the first 4 games, the Indiana and their pace was clearly getting to New York, and it was causing so many just defensive miscues. And at least tonight, the defensive pressure, the stuff that Indiana normally does from start to finish, the Knicks were able to go out and they were able to lock in for 48 minutes, and they were able to be the ones that were the physical ones on defense. They were able to avoid all of those defensive mistakes. And it's also just good to see, like, aside from like the moral, it is good to see a team win by double digits, right?
Yeah.
And to show that you can be on the floor. The fact that they were down 3-1, everyone was and we kind of talked about it on Tuesday? Today's Thursday? Yeah. After the last game, we were saying, like, or Mo had mentioned, like, they're kind of dismantling them. And I was kind of pushing back on the fact that Indiana was that much better than New York. And the fact that they were able to come in today and win by such decisive margin, it's like, yes, there is a version of this team that is still really, really good. And the fact that you could at least see it in Game 5 gives you hope that over the next 2 games, you can get some version of that. I think that the defensive pressure today was very clearly, like, very desperate, very, like, we don't want to go home. I don't know if that's going to be easy to replicate for 2 more straight games.
It'll be extremely hard. And the reason you don't see 3-1 comebacks because it's damn near impossible to replicate that.
Yeah.
Not impossible, but it's very difficult. Like, this very well could be the Timberwolves blowing out the OKC Thunder by 30 points to not go down 3-0, or it could be the start of a run. You never know. Like, it's not uncommon to see a team win. In this example, we literally just saw it in the same exact situation at home to avoid not elimination for the Timberwolves, but essentially elimination to go down 3-0. So this was in the cards. I think, I don't know what the betting lines were like. The Knicks were probably favored to win this game.
Yeah,
so,
it was a 4.5.
Yeah, so that's to be expected. But like you said, the nature in which they won, mostly because, when we talk about them being dismantled, we were like joking about the verbiage of that on the stream, but they were beating the Knicks in like every category. Up and down the board, they had the better offense, the better defense. They're winning the turnover battle. They were winning everything that matters. They were just slightly better in a lot of important ways. Obviously, a big part of that for the Pacers comes down to their shooting, that they can just flood you from 3 and everything's built from there. That's the most encouraging part. You look at this box score, Nesmith 1 for 5. He was a brick from 3. That just was a bad Nesmith game. That happens. Tyrese Halliburton 0 for 2. Miles Turner 1 for 2. You limit their pick and pop guys to 2 3-point attempts each. They were not letting them walk into those threes. They were making them drive to the rim, and they did a good job of shutting that down. That's like the most encouraging part by far of the Knicks defense tonight.
Yeah, I agree. Now, with what we've seen tonight, obviously they have to go in there and do what they do on Saturday. how confident do you feel in the Knicks making somewhat of a return to the series?
Nobody does it. You know, like
Yeah.
we were talking before, like it's been 5 years since the 3-1 comeback. And I'm more inclined to think this is the Timberwolves blowing out the OKC Thunder situation than I am to think it's a 3-1 comeback, just because of how decisive the first 4 games were in the Pacers' favor. Again, it wasn't gigantic margins, but they were winning all those goddamn margins. And because this is, you know, predictable that they'd win one at home with the season on the line, I'm more inclined to think the Pacers close it out. But like Donovan said, if it wasn't for a game 1 blunder, this would be a completely different
It
series.
would be 3-2.
Yeah.
Not even blunder. If this wasn't for god tier shot making in game 1, which, you know, the Pacers are prone to do clearly more often, they do it a fair amount of times.
Even then, game 1 was a
Outlandish.
different.
Yeah.
It was a different level of like, of just cannon of just like
Yeah.
what's happening.
So with
right?
that, if that weren't the case, this would be a different series. It would be tied up before today, and we'd be talking entirely differently, right? So I'm not going to say the Knicks don't have a chance, but I'm not going to count on it just because statistically it never fucking happens.
It's also, we've also talked this much. This is like game 1 was the Aaron Nesmith game. This is the Landry Shamet game.
Why is it the Larry Shamet game?
For a guy who only had 5 points, Landry Shamet came in and provided such good defense tonight. He was everywhere. Again, he only hit 2 shots, and he was 2 for 3, one of 2 from 3. But it felt like he was everywhere. His activity defensively, moving around on screen, staying in front of people, being able to be, you know, one of the first guys to loose balls and stuff like that. He was outstanding. And for a Knicks team that all season long, everybody, the number one thing is like they don't have a bench. Tibbs is not going to play so many guys. And since they've, you know, gone down and Tibbs has actually started to lean on Shamet and DeLon Wright and stuff like that, you're trying to figure out if it's possible that anybody is going to be able to step up. You've seen DeLon Wright step up in moments. Having Landry Shamet play like that gives you legitimate minutes going into game 6, where you don't have to play Brunson 46 minutes. You might not even have to play Cat a crazy amount of minutes. It might still happen, but you don't have to do it because you can still be out there with one big and still have enough shooting and playmaking and just enough of the other stuff from Shamet. He was amazing tonight. He was fantastic.
And what's going to be the situation with this Pacers backup center spot? Tony Bradley played 5 minutes and got hurt. Who, you know, he's Tony Bradley. It's not like he's this gigantic swing factor, but he gave them some good minutes over the course of the series because Thomas Bryant is like the worst big man defender in the NBA, and they went away from him in favor of Tony Bradley in some of these games as of past few games of the series in which they won.
Yeah,
he hurt his hip 5 minutes into his stint in this game. If he's not going to be there, and you have Thomas Bryant minutes again, that's
it's spooky.
Miles
bode
Turner,
well.
get ready to speak 46 minutes Saturday night. Buddy.
Hey, he was getting fried. I hope not. Like, he has not been able to contend with Cat. Cat as a driver isn't kicking his ass. So
Historically, that's been the thing for him.
Yeah,
but
you said that coming into the series.
Yeah, exactly. And Cat also, that's a good point to mention him. We haven't said anything about him just yet. He had a game. He had a great game. I mean, outside of Brunson, he was the only one. Other than that, giving the Knicks consistent offense and consistent buckets, whether it be just like running into the rim and just throwing it up like he usually does, or I think he only hit like a 3, maybe 2. He didn't have a great shooting game this game.
1 for 4 from 3.
Yeah, exactly.
But 10 for 20 from the field.
Yeah, exactly. So his inside presence was super loud, and seeing how he's just continuously able to have his way with whoever is in front of him, whether it be Siakam, whether it be Aaron Nesmith or Miles Turner, is so valuable. And if he's doing that on a night-to-night basis, then
the Cat piece, especially because he was frying Miles Turner. You saw so many times in this game they ended up sending the double towards Cat, and he has to do a better job of recognizing that the double's actually going to be there and to like anticipate it, and you know, to keep the ball moving. But that's you know, to both of your points of, one, Miles Turner has been bad, and 2, if Tony Bradley's not there and either Miles Turner is going to get into foul trouble kind of like he did tonight, or you just straight up can't guard him and you have to send more resources to Karl Anthony Towns. That's going to be something that Indiana is going to have to figure out. Like, you're just going to have to either be able to legitimately force turnovers on Cat, which there were a couple times where the ball did start to get a little loose. Either do that or say what Tibb said to Cat and Brunson kind of in the last series, which is like, I'm gonna just need you to be a man and play defense, and like we're just gonna have to live with the results at that point.
And we'll see. Either way, Brunson and Cat had a good game. They've had good games in the series. It really just truly comes down to the Pacers' offense is going to be the deciding factor. Like they have not been locking up Brunson in the series, so him going off is not a surprise, right? It's really that they were not capable of contending with the shootout tonight, and that's kind of their MO. Is okay, we don't have the best defensive personnel in the world. We have a good defense. Good fundamentals. We have guys like Nembhard. We have guys like Turner who can do some stuff. Siakam's a good defender, but we are not going to hold you to 80 points a game. We are not the Thunder. We are going to just score more than you. If they're not hitting their shots tonight, they just kind of don't have a chance. Yeah.
So this is going to be a very, very interesting game 6 because it's weird because you've heard it all series long. And they keep bringing it up how the Pacers, specifically Nesmith and Halliburton, have shot better on the road than at home. Hasn't felt like that. Like it felt like those games in Indiana, they were doing a pretty damn good job.
Yeah.
I wonder if that does come.
You got the Siakam hammer.
I mean, listen, that was game 2, which is ridiculous. But this game, the way that the Knicks were able to execute down the stretch and keep that lead, especially in the fourth quarter, because the one thing that Indiana has been able to do, and they were still very successful tonight, finishing quarters has been massive for them. And it doesn't matter if the Knicks are up 10 or 12 with like 3 minutes to go in the quarter. Somehow Indiana just keeps ending these quarters on runs, and they go on like 7-2, 8-1 runs. And you look up and it's like a 3-point game.
They had two separate 8-1 and 8-0 runs in the second half and didn't get within 10. That's the resiliency on the Knicks. Like they just did not they had every reason for it to snowball and typical Pacers devil magic to come in. Next thing you know, you're blowing a 20-point lead, but they kept responding time in and time out. One of those responses, like you said, was Landry Shamet energy plays. One of them was Cat going crazy. Like just all around, just a very impressive game from the Knicks in ways that some stuff they've struggled in throughout the course of the series.
What's super impressive too about this specific game is that they were able to pull away with a sizable lead. I think it was up to, what's the biggest lead they had? Was it 22?
21, I think.
22. Yeah. And they did all this offensively without their, I don't know how to, third, fourth scoring OG Anunoby. In general, he's been really good offensively this series. He's been hitting all types of corner threes. And I think for this series, he's been averaging like 17. He's been averaging 17 shooting.
He was bad tonight, though. Him and Mikal combined 1 of 10 from 3.
And it's impressive to see like, oh, wow, like you did all this without having a good, at least offensively scoring.
There was 0 lead changes in this game. What the fuck?
Insane, bro. It's written.
Wow.
It was written. So
0 lead changes.
About damn time. Like, please.
Shout out to the bench.
Yeah.
Shout out to the bench.
Again, I hope it's a 3-1 comeback. We were talking about this. Like, it's been 5 years since a 3-1 comeback. The last one was in the bubble. And from 2015 to 2020, there was 5. I got so accustomed to that in my mind, it was just like, yeah, 3-1 comebacks happen. It's modern NBA. It's been 5 years since we had one. That's crazy.
5 years is
I need it. I would love for this to be a 3-1 comeback. That would be the funniest outcome. Just because it's always funny when everybody was like, when everybody gets so comfortable assuming a finals matchup is going to happen and everyone starts crowning it too early because you go 3-1, you always win. So everyone's like, yo, Pacers versus Thunder, so-and-so. If that just gets slowly dismantled over the course of a week and all of that discourse is gone, all the Tyrese Halliburton love that everybody, including us, has been showing, if all that gets snatched away because 1 week he is up shit, new top 10 player. Hey, he's in the finals. They crown him, and then now he's a choker. Like that whiplash is always hilarious.
That's the swings of the playoffs.
Yeah.
In round 1, right? We were having conversations of like, yo, where does Kawhi rank all time?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, yo, Kawhi's a demon.
He had one good game.
one good game where he had 39, and then after that they end up losing in 7, and you're like, oh,
every game,
same old Clippers.
In the playoffs, every NBA fan, at least on Twitter, feels the need to make every single playoff game a referendum on the team at large. Like every time the Thunder lose, frauds, it's finally time. Kawhi has one good game. He's a goon. Like there's always something. There's always a grand takeaway from every game. Tonight, Tyrese Halliburton has 10 points. I guarantee you, I go on Twitter, it'll be, I told y'all was hyping him up too fast. He doesn't have a bag. Like, and then game 6, he's gonna close you guys out with another 30-point triple double, and it's back to him being a god.
I like how you slipped it in there.
I know.
It's just like either way, whatever way we go, it'll keep bouncing back and forth. I don't know. But with that being said, I would love for this to end up in a 3-1 lead. Like that just feels like we're due for one finally.
As much as I would love to see that as well, just because it's simply fucking fun. I don't think that will be the case, and I would predict the Indiana Pacers simply putting belt to ass on Saturday night.
Yeah, I'll guarantee it.
Okay.
You're getting fucking mollywopped
Oh, shit.
Saturday night. You're getting demolished. I dare you to go to Indiana. I dare you to make the 4-hour drive just to get your heart ripped out by
You're
Tyrese
not going to
Halliburton.
Indiana.
First of all, it's only 3 hours. Second of all, I'm a grown ass man. You can't tell me what to do. I might go.
You're gonna get curb stomped. You're gonna get your heart snatched. I think they're gonna demoralize you to the point where you might give up your Knicks fandom.
Man,
I think you might say you're not gonna be a Knicks fan as long as Cat is on the team. I think
Listen,
He
we've
said that
been through
before.
all of that before, and we're here.
I think
We're
you're-
still standing.
I think Saturday
I'm
night.
still alive.
I think Saturday night would be the worst day of your life.
I don't know. Game 1 was pretty tough. game 1 was one of the 5 worst nights as a Knicks fan. It was awful.
He said, "Listen, I haven't been through a lot of turmoil. This was the worst it gets."
Yeah, like given the stakes, I remember after we went 17-65 and we had the best odds to get the number 1 pick, and then we ended up dropping to 4, and that was the year we got Porzingis.
Yeah.
That was tough. And then all year we were supposed to get KD and Kyrie, and then
Choose Brooklyn.
and then they went to Brooklyn, and then 30 minutes later it was like Julius Randle had signed a three-year deal, and I was like, no.
they influenced Zion Williamson for draft odds or whatever in you guys' faces too. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
RJ Barrett.
Yeah, the dream that year was supposed to be KD, Kyrie, and Zion, and we ended up with Julius Randle.
What came first? The lottery came before free agency, right? Do you think
Yeah.
if they would have got Zion, Katie and Kyrie would have picked the Knicks?
Nah, I
You
don't,
don't-
I don't think.
Maybe it would. I mean, it would have been a better situation.
Zion swings some shit. Zion was
He-
like Cooper Flag. Like if you get Cooper Flag out of nowhere, that makes you more like want to sign somewhere.
Maybe, I don't know.
But also from the way, and again, maybe Zion does flip it, but from the way KD has talked about the Knicks, it feels very like deep rooted of like,
Yeah.
I don't like the way that they operate, so I'm just not going to go there.
Mm.
So it probably,
And I think he
would've
liked
never
the
happened.
like I'm gonna be in New York in the shadows of the Nets after the Warriors experience. So that's probably
Yeah,
part
makes
of it.
sense. It makes sense.
Okay, so 1 to 10, Donovan, how confident are you the Knicks make this comeback?
The comeback, 9.
Win this series? 9?
9.
So you're 90% certain they're gonna win this series?
Yeah, I just needed one game. Like that was the only thing that I that was the only thing I really needed. I needed them to show me something. They did, and it wasn't. And the fact that it happened the way that it did tonight, with a big blowout win, with great defense,
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? That's in there. The dog is still in there. That's all I needed.
You saw the ball go through the hoop.
Yeah.
You know what? I like the points that you thrown out there earlier, especially when it comes to the type of defense, how they jumped out on a lot of the Tyrese Halliburton and Andrew Nembhard threes. They weren't able to get that shut off as usual, and there was just so much like blockages for Tyrese Halliburton. The lanes that he usually has just wasn't there, whether it be passing wise or even like the angular cutting lanes that he's used to as well. So I like that for those reasons. The delusion is in there, diluted a bit. I can rock with you on that. I'm not.
we
agree,
just
but
have to get one game, and that's it. I'm not worried about game 7. It's literally only about
Yeah.
game 6 right now.
I wish I had more to say about this game, but like it's 3-1. They got one. It's almost like uninteresting until they get at least one more. And because the nature of the Pacers just having their worst offensive game for a team that does not often have bad offensive games, it's like all we can do is wait and see what happens on Saturday.
yeah.
It's gonna be magical.
Yeah. Like I'm sure by tomorrow, again, this is a live reaction. I'm sure I'll have more thoughts tomorrow. But like as of now, I'm like, okay, do it again. Like time to see. Like
And guess what? And we will.
you might,
And we will.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
you got to do it so many times consecutively that I'm like, okay, not gonna react yet.
So game 7 was to happen. It will be Monday night.
Oh, thank God this game didn't end tonight because I realized we'd have a week off of basketball.
Yeah.
That's such a long break.
And we already did like the Thunder coordination stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, all
What's
right,
next?
like what else?
And like the whole world thinks that either way this goes, the Thunder are going to beat the fuck out of either of these Eastern Conference teams. No offense. So it would just be like a week to
I know
like
how they
finally get
think.
to it.
I know how they think.
Yeah, so like it would just be like so long to like have like a almost feeling predetermined outcome.
Yeah.
That would be annoying.
Yeah, so listen, just for the sake of entertainment purposes, the Knicks, we will put the league on our back. We will go ahead. Tonight, shout out to Zach Zarba, you know what I'm saying? You did your job. You actually called the fouls that were the fouls. We did what we had to do, and we're good. I will say, it was like a 16-point game with like 4 minutes left. I started getting like PTSD.
Nervous. Your ass was up with hand on your knees and all that. I understand it too.
After
Hands on his knees?
Relax. But like, come on. Man. Come on. It's late. Let's go.
Dropping down again as you go on. For Landry Shaman.
Bad verbiage, my bad.
With that being said,
Nasty guy.
that's the end of this reaction to the video. Let's get you back to the main hour 2 of the show.
Knicks in 7.
Knicks in 7 apparently. Doubt it.
I hope so.
Knicks in 7 and 9,
For content
11.
purposes.
All the stuff y'all was saying.
All right, let's get on to hour 2 of the show, and let's let you guys hear our ranking of our top 25 most fun players to watch in the NBA. And we are back to earlier in the day for hour 2 of the show, block number 2. The main thing you guys see in the title, what you're here for. We are going to rank the most fun to watch NBA players in the league this year. This is, we're going to do like a typical TD3 rankings episode. We're going to rank the top 25 of the most fun players, revealing it to you guys tier by tier until you see each of our individual lists in full. And this is by far the most subjective one. I told you guys, do whatever fun means to you. The way I did it is I ranked it based on how much I enjoyed watching them this season. So strictly my own personal enjoyment level, which obviously is very different from yours and yours and yours and yours and anybody else's. We're all watching for different things. These are going to be the most uniquely tailored to us list we could possibly imagine.
This right here will tell me exactly what type of person you guys are.
And I didn't hold back from that. I didn't even, sometimes I'll try to, when we talk about stuff like this, I'll be like, people love watching watching so-and-so, these high flyers. I didn't put a single bit of outside influence into my list.
Just straight. Okay.
Straight what I enjoy watching. And so I figured, we'll talk about our difference in perceptions of basketball.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's just get into it. I assume you guys did the same?
Yeah. I mean, it's for me personally, it's strictly about when I see the list of games on for that night on the NBA app, what game am I more likely or player am I more likely to want to key into? And this list will reflect that.
Yeah. For me, it's a combination of like how much fun are you at your peak? Like when you're having one of those games,
yeah.
How high? And then also over the course of a season, how many times like you am I actually gonna like want to tune in like from the start of the game?
Yeah,
from that. So
exactly. Oh, and I should say this graphic says players. I forgot. We did most fun stars to watch. So only caveat is you have to be star players. So you guys might say, where is insert X role player who's incredibly fun? These are only stars because obviously we're inspired to this conversation by the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander discourse and people saying he's great but not fun to watch, whatever. That's really what birthed this. So these 25 players will all be star level at least.
Yeah, exactly. Now, just show me what type of fun you guys are into, and you guys will clearly see who I am.
Okay.
I'm into that. Let's do it.
First off, who's up first? Me. First 5. At 25, I have Evan Mobley. At 24, I have Devin Booker. 23, Paolo Banchero. 22, Trae Young. At 21, Anthony Davis.
Wow.
This is all based off this year, so that's why Anthony Davis is pretty low for someone I love Anthony Davis. He played power forward now with the Mavs. I do not like watching Anthony Davis when he plays power forward.
Why?
I despise it because he's a goddamn center and he moves like a center these days. He shoots like a center these days. And I know he wants to be power forward. His offensive game is so much more fun to watch when he's attacking fives rather than trying to do these like slow, big post-ups shooting over smaller defenders. I don't like that element of it. And obviously, he got hurt when he got to the Mavs and he came back later in the year looking like a shell of himself. So that probably factors into it a little bit. But even then, it's not like Anthony Davis is the most fun guy in the world.
Man, if we're talking about 2017, 2018, Anthony Davis.
Oh, it's a different level.
Good God, he's like top 3 in this bitch,
Different.
bro.
The way he moved with the ball in his hands was outrageous.
Yeah.
And he's still just as good of a player, but it's not quite as fun with a new approach.
Yeah. That's fair. The biggest thing to me right here, you put the mid-range merchants at the bottom of your list.
Surprise, surprise.
And Booker and Paolo.
Yeah,
Okay,
Booker,
fine.
I also love Devin Booker. Man, he's been on the Suns the past 2 years playing point guard, essentially. It's been disgusting. Especially this year. Early season Devin Booker, remember how we were talking about him? We were like, yo, is he washed? Why is he significantly worse for a long stretch of the season? He turned it on towards the end of the season, started to look more like Devin Booker, but most of this year was rough. That's been accounted for. And he's obviously just been playing out of position, which I don't hold against guys too much, but it's been a long time, and I haven't had an enjoyable time watching the Suns in quite a while.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like, Yeah, I can't really knock Booker too much for that just because that whole situation was
Yeah,
trash.
which is
And
why
so-
he's still on the list.
and
It's
it's
like there's just nothing about the Suns has been top 25 worthy.
Yeah.
But he's so good that the talent level still gets him top 25.
The Suns as a whole is like, I saw him on the schedule. I was like, I'm not watching that. I don't want to waste 2 hours of my life watching that.
Some teams, like, obviously we got to watch every team to like do a due diligence. Sometimes that shit feels like homework. And the Suns' nickname for the season should be homework.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Mobley.
Low key, Mobley should be higher. I like watching Mobley way more than Paolo this year. I love watching Mobley's defense. I love it. DPOY. I put Paolo at 23 above Mobley and Booker just because those spike games when he goes berserk are so fun.
Yeah.
But all the games in between are not fun for me at all. I fucking hate watching the bad Paolo Banchero games. He has one of the biggest gulfs right now in fun level between when he's on and when he's off. Massively different quality of basketball being played sometimes.
That when he's on, when he's off conversation directly applies to someone like Trae Young as well,
Correct.
which I can understand why he's at 22.
Yeah.
But when he's on, shit, it outweighs the off for me.
Did you say that? It's been a while since we had a lot of vintage Trae Young on as a scorer games. It's been quite a while.
This year he didn't have the greatest year, of course. Efficiency wise, this is one of the worst of his career, probably the worst actually. And there's a lot of things happening with the team. There's dysfunction and shit happening. But through all that, the passing is ridiculous to me still. And he's been the assist leader for, I guess, like 2 years now straight.
Yeah.
And seeing how he's been able to, again, it's infuriating to see him get consistently blocked at the fucking rim like how he does. It sucks to see the jump shot decline, but still seeing the way he's able to get to his spots and just dance on any defense that you see thrown at him and like dime it up through any area of the court is still so unbelievably
That's
fun.
the key thing here on my list. I do not watching guys dance. I do not enjoy watching guys dance that does not lead to anything good. I hate watching a motherfucker dance and dribble a lot when it leads to a bunch of bullshit scoring wise.
This guy
I
can't
hate
dance.
that.
That's what he's telling me. He can't
No
dance.
rhythm.
I hate that.
This guy
No
has
rhythm,
no
no
footwork.
bop.
No,
Doesn't
if you're
have
gonna
it.
have that shit, it better lead to something. Otherwise, you're wasting movement. That's why Paolo's at 23 and Trae Young's at
Wasting
22.
movement.
He don't be booping and bopping.
He doesn't.
Word to Baron
Like you
Davis.
said, I hate watching him as a finisher, and obviously when the 3-point shot is falling, Trae Young is exhilarating to watch, but wasn't the strongest years of scorers.
Knocking a guy down over wasted movement is the most nerd thing you've ever said. I hate it.
Well, really, what I
hate
mean by that is I'm knocking him down for shooting like 48% on layups for long
Yeah.
parts of the season. So like, if it's a lot of movement and then it's a fucking block at the rim, I'm not gonna have fun.
Look, man, when it comes to the type of fun I'm into, I'm not thinking about winning or losing. What's the entertainment factor? I'm seeing him move like that, seeing him pass like that, seeing him take audacious threes from the 3-point line, from the logo.
Yo, you got it, man.
Go in or out, it don't matter. You taking it, I'm like, what the fuck? That was so crazy. You raising my blood pressure. Hey, man,
See, that's the
it's
thing.
fun.
I'm entertained by good basketball, not flashy basketball. That's the difference in like.
Oh my.
I can't turn my brain off when I'm watching Trae Young. So like, it's very rare that I'm like not noticing that these are terrible floater attempts. I can't like ignore it. So like that's why like I hype up a guy like Shea. I'm like, he's so efficient. Look at that, getting to
So
the rim.
efficient. He's getting to it.
This is hurting my soul.
Yeah, I know.
I don't.
Hey, listen, I
don't
told you,
like
I did not shy away from any of the nerd tendencies in this list. This will be a nerdy ass list.
You're not invited to the party.
At least I didn't put Rudy Gobert on here. If this was last
I
year,
was worried about
if
that.
if this was last season, I would have put Gobert at top 25.
Oh, man,
but he fell off pretty
Yeah.
physically this year. Okay, let's see who's next. Mo, who is your first five?
Ooh, so at 25, I got Tyrese Maxey. 24, De'Aaron Fox. 23, I got J-Dub. 22, when he's healthy and he's on, Kawhi. And 21, I got Jason Tatum.
Okay.
Speed merchants at the bottom.
Yeah.
Got it. You do have to give him a little bit of love. I see. Tatum at 21 is a little bit interesting, but I guess I can get it. Like we knock Tatum all the time for being like boring and stuff like that. So I get that.
Tatum is the most interesting one. I was curious where we're all going to put him. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of felt like I might have put him the lowest. I did not.
Yeah, exactly. For me, I wanted to put Tatum higher, but I noticed some of my tendencies and I continuously kept on bumping him down alongside a few other players. But seeing how just big he is and how he's just everywhere on the court, he's constantly showing up on the screen, doing something important. Whether it be like getting up and grabbing ferocious rebounds, guarding 4s and 5s at times, the playmaking leap that he took this season as well and also last season, and seeing him have the ability to still dance and get to his shot as well. Hey, man, it's 21 for me.
This is going to be a fun list because the bottom 4 guys on your list are not on my list at all.
Really? No De'Aaron Fox? J-Dub is so fun to watch to me.
Yeah, I could have put J-Dub on there. If I had thought about it more, maybe he would have made it on there. But I don't feel horrible about putting J-Dub at like 26 or 27. That feels fine to me, just because the nature of his game. Like, he's an amazing player, doesn't have first option usage, isn't a rim protector, doesn't do any of the flashy fun stuff like that. So I'm not feeling bad about that.
No flashy or fun stuff for J-Dub. I feel the complete opposite.
No, you're right. The passing lanes, the defense is flashy. So again, I didn't think about it much. I kind of forgot about him.
Yeah.
But I don't feel bad about that. Kawhi is an interesting one. Why did he make your list when he's obviously so up and down?
If we're talking about dancing, the dancing leap that he took, man, the handles.
But Kawhi's also the best combination of both of y'all, where it's like Kawhi is not wasting movements.
Yes.
He's not doing that. And whenever you do have a good Kawhi game, it's very much spot, one dribble pull up, tween, boom. And it might just be one tween. It might just be tween pull, and you're right there. And so I don't know, Kawhi, you watch him, and there's times where you just get like frustrated because of all of the injuries and all the stuff that is happening. You're like, I just wish that he was healthy for an extended period of time, to where I could have seen him at his best for a little bit longer. But I can understand why, especially because this version of Kawhi isn't peak Kawhi. 2017 Kawhi,
True.
That's different, right? When he can take over a game defensively and not even scoring, just get 3 steals on 3 consecutive possessions, and you look up and you're like, oh yeah, the game's over. Like that's peak Kawhi.
Peak Kawhi's top 5 for me. Peak Kawhi was amazing. Like, even 2021 Kawhi would have been like 4 on this list for me. 2021 Kawhi, when he was a playmaker, when he had the strength as a scorer, the shooting was obviously in rhythm all the time, the defense was still really smart. He probably would have been like 4th or 5th.
Yeah.
But these days, I don't think about him very much. He wasn't on my list.
Yeah. Understandable.
RIP.
De'Aaron Fox is a fun one. He'll get back on my list. He just wasn't fun this year. He was hurt. Obviously, the Kings were not fun. He came back, got hurt immediately for the Spurs.
That pinky was crazy.
Yeah, and he shoots a lot more than he slashes now, so that also limits the fun that we once had from De'Aaron Fox. I can see him getting back on here though.
Yeah, easy. I can assume him being back on your list next year. This year was weird because of all the things that we said when it comes to him being traded, the Kings being just so him having the pinky injury and just not being able to shoot the same, all that, although he was resilient to make that a big point and part of his game. But still, when he decides to get to the rim, the way that he's elevated a shooter over the last few years. Although this wasn't the year for him, I still have very key moments in my brain that I remember from this season where I'm just like, yeah, he's still very much that guy, and I love seeing him play. Same thing for Tyrese Maxey as well. Of course, he had an injury-riddled season. We saw him forced and pushed as the number 1 guy. We all know that he is not that guy. But if there's one thing that he's a fucking speed demon, just like De'Aaron Fox, and when he gets to it.
Yeah.
I should have put Chet on my list. Now I'm thinking about it.
Well, for just this year. Okay.
Yeah.
Donovan, who was your first 5?
At 25, right? We're going from 25 to 21? We're
Sure.
going up? Or all right. But listen, people get mad at us. I forget which way.
I stopped
we're
caring.
going.
Yeah.
All right. At 25, LaMelo. 24, Tyrese. 23, Chet. 22, Damian Lillard. And at 21, I have Kawhi.
Oh, so you did put Chet. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I should have put Chet.
Again, this is at their peak. And we saw 10 games of Chet at his peak, and I was like, this is different.
Yeah,
This is legitimately not only winning basketball and impactful. You're 7'3", moving the way that you do.
You always say 7'3".
Bro, he's 7'5". It's crazy.
Jesus
he's
Christ.
different.
That man's 6'11", 7 foot.
Yeah, man. To be 8'9" and shoot from the outside the way that he does, to also just to carry himself the way that it does, it's very funny. And so I do like watching Chet a lot.
Did he get an oxtail bump?
Listen, I do like the oxtails. the oxtails be hitting.
Okay, you have Kawhi on there as well. Interesting. You have Maxey as well. You got LaMelo. You haven't seen LaMelo on any of these lists yet.
That's the biggest glaring hole at 25, man. Wow.
So you think he has him too low?
I'm not going to reveal my list just yet, but I will say it's very different from that.
At his peak, yeah, at his peak, LaMelo is very much this is fun. And it's also very nostalgic, because I feel like we've watched LaMelo grow since he was 14, playing overseas and high school stuff. And so the clips that you would see where he's scoring 92 in high school and stuff, when he's on, it very much does feel like that. And so there's a part of my mind where I'm at the end of the day, we're just doing this on a random Tuesday in Charlotte.
Exactly.
It doesn't really mean anything, but it is still really cool when he starts to go off.
We should have did top 35. I'm not sure I would have put LaMelo on my list.
Woo, top
The
30.
second half of this year made me turn so hard on LaMelo on an enjoyment level. Not on a player level, because obviously his situation was terrible. We think he can be better. Obviously, he is in basketball hell. Just talk he might get traded because it's best for everybody. I'm not out on LaMelo like as a player. Like he can never be good. But I'm so out on LaMelo in terms of me enjoying watching his ass this year.
Wow.
That second half of the season was the most bullshit basketball I've ever seen in my life. Obviously, the start when he was averaging 30, making all these crazy shots, it was like, whoa, star leap. He got hurt, came back, shell of that production-wise. And when that fine line of these shots are going in with this play style, then they're not nearly as much, that shit is hideous to me. I hate watching that. This is really, again, a Charlotte Hornets problem more than it is a LaMelo problem because the organization of the offense was atrocious. He had no help, so he had to shot chuck. But man, did he take every bit of shot chucking liberty that coaching staff awarded him, and he ran it into the dirt. I hated watching that.
And that, for me, some guys get a little bit of a bump because it's like, you know what? I'm here for the attempt.
Yeah.
I'm here. You are clearly the only one on your team that has any type of like B tier talent and above. Let me see what you can do.
Yeah.
Right? Let me just.
He showed you what you can do.
And that's what I'm saying. So I do appreciate that because there also is that again another like nostalgic piece where it's like put the team on your back.
Yeah.
Let me see if you can score 35
Unload the
and win
clip.
today. Yeah.
Like I understand that in like playoff basketball, if it's like an elimination game.
Well,
unload the clip.
again, they suck and you have nothing to play
Yeah.
for. I'm with you. I also don't think that just in general, I think it's very hard to build around somebody like LaMelo. If this was, who are we trying to start a franchise with? That's a different conversation. But if it's just, I hear fun equals very close to bag.
No, you're right. LaMelo is obviously going to
and
be.
so it's like, hey, show me the bag, show me
Yeah.
what you can do, and it's on display.
Most people would probably put LaMelo like 15 or so. Like he'd probably rank highly in a consensus. It's similar to the thing. Like I've grown just from watching so many games and having to see it. Like I have very little tolerance for enjoying bad basketball, and I've gotten such a distaste in my mouth when I have to watch first option guys that get first option usage. Or even in the LaMelo case, more than first option usage, like the peak usage in the league, and they don't need
MVP
that.
James Harden usage.
Yeah, and they don't need that at all, and it does not lead, like it's not in line with their talents. They just got to chuck because nobody else is there for it. I hate watching, like, I don't want to say undeserving because LaMelo is good, but like disproportionate usage that leads to just like ineffective basketball. Can't stand it.
I can understand that for sure.
It's going to be like that somewhere in the league.
Yeah.
Somebody has to do it.
Every year, yeah, there's guys like that. Like during Trae Young's rookie year, he was very much playing LaMelo Ball style basketball. And over like the last few years, like we said, there's always always going to be someone like that. But with LaMelo, why he's surprise, he made my list and he's a little bit higher. The audacity to just try certain things is fucking crazy. Just how often he's able to just like get to whatever spots and do moves that no one's really like seen before. I don't want to say seen before because everything's happened out there on the basketball court, but just seeing how he's just willing to just have the green slice of all green and continue to like try random shit, whether it be, we didn't see too much like insane passing this year, but it's still there. But the scoring and how he's been getting it and being able to get to certain spots, for me personally, is why he's like highly ranked on this list. It's just strictly entertaining.
You know what I'll say? If he gets traded to the Clippers and plays for Ty Lue, I bet he'll make top 15 on my list next year. he needs to be nudged in the right direction, and I'll really love it.
Yeah, I'm not focused too much on the outcome.
You need some brain rot basketball in your life.
What's happening exactly. I'm just focused on like, how do you get to it?
I don't know how you divorce that. I hate watching that many missed shots.
I understand it, but also at the same time too, there's no one else doing this. It's so rare.
Yeah, thank God. Okay, so, and maybe you feel this way too, but the way that you're looking at like individual players, I look at it as the whole team. So it's like the Suns, I hate watching them. I'm gonna leave here with something. Right? The Hornets, you guys are awful. You have to be able to find certain things that you can either be happy about when you're watching all these games of a whole bunch of these trash teams. It's the middle of February. You're like, all right, I'm gonna do it. I don't want to be completely miserable for 2 hours. What can I point and like figure out what's fun? LaMelo on the Hornets is the thing where every time you watch, he's the only one where I'm like, hey, show me something. And then obviously you focus on that, and then other people start to show up and pop up. But like that's the one that like pops out as you're watching these teams suck for 6 months.
And most of the time I'm with you. I feel that way about LaMelo first half of last year. I just wish I felt that way second half of last year.
Yeah.
The second half of last year was an abomination. It was different.
Yeah, exactly.
But
that injury
normally I'm
ruined
with
him.
you. Normally I'm with you. Okay, next tier, Donovan. Who is your 20 through 16?
At 20, I have Cade. At 19, I have John Morant. 18, Devin Booker. 17, I have Zion. And at 16, I have Amen Thompson.
Wow. Okay.
I didn't think about Amen Thompson. Okay, I
Amen-
guess because he's not a star, but I'll allow it. It's not crazy.
He has that potential, so that's fair.
Yeah, listen, if you have 2 to 3 weeks in the NBA season where you are going crazy, star. Everybody is the word star is so thrown around, and everybody is able to get that. I will give him also. It's my list. I don't give a damn. I'm putting
fair enough.
I'm putting him in at
I only
16.
filtered it by all stars. If I didn't do that, Amen would also be on my list. So I respect the pick fully.
Yeah.
John Morant at 19, Cade at 20. I feel like that'd be controversial to people. Why are they so low?
I mean,
Or is it not feel low to you?
no, I know that in like, I guess like general discourse, like Ja's probably gonna be higher for a lot of other people. Ja's cool. He be flying, right? He does that. But there's also some stuff that seeps in with Ja where 2 years ago when he was at the peak of his powers and you're just like waiting for him to be legitimately. I think there were times where we probably ranked him as like the 13th, 12, best
He was
player
very much in
the
that
league.
conversation.
And so there's times where I'm watching him and certain areas of his game hasn't grown as much as you would like. And so it's a little bit of a disdain. But when Ja's on, it's still very, very
So what I'm hearing is you feel the same way about Ja that I feel about LaMelo. Where it's like you're holding what could be against him.
No. With LaMelo, I don't know if that's there at all. Like I don't.
So you're just here for the show. You don't have expectations with LaMelo.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I've divorced.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I think I've divorced.
So
but for Ja,
That makes sense because I have not. I'm frustrated by LaMelo, whereas you're like, this is who he is. It's fun.
No, yeah,
Okay.
I'm fully there. With Ja, I still think that there's a little. I'm getting to the point where I don't know if that's there at all. But especially this last season, there was still a little bit of me watching him where I'm like, it's somewhere in there, and you can be the guy. You can be this. I need you to get there.
From an entertainment perspective, John Morant's PR got massively saved by the post Taylor Jenkins games. When he was hitting, going back to pick and roll, entertainment value flew through the roof for that last part of the season.
Yeah, I mean, like he was doing all the fun things that you like to see, all the crazy dunks, the crazy finishes. He even had like the fucking viral new celebration with the grenade thing that every AAU player and everybody just spammed. Like he just has a certain like X factor fun in our culture, which sets him apart from everyone else in my mind. It's also on top of his play style and shit. It's hard as hell, bro. Like there's no other player in the league doing that shit.
For the culture.
Like there's no other player who's like as in touch while also being able to like perform at that level on this list at all.
Wait, no, I know what you're saying. I should have factored in the grenade celebration more. That was a big fun moment for me this season. I love that whole saga.
That's a level of fun that just isn't accounted for on the basketball court in terms of how effective it is. That's just like shit that you pull out of your ass, and that's fun. It's another like wrinkle of the game. That's what people love to see.
Booker, Morant, Cade is an interesting trio of like all being next to each other. Why is Booker over Morant and Cade? Why did he still get that rep?
I just think he's better than them, and so like he's better than them.
Do you think people agree with that? Do you think people still are gonna rank Booker above Cade?
No, I don't think people
They should
are,
though, right?
Yeah.
In terms of like who's better?
Yeah.
Oh,
Booker's still better, right?
yeah, I think Booker's still clearly better for sure.
Yeah, I think I would. Yeah, I would say that. I feel pretty comfortable about it. But yeah, I just think that he's better than them. He also has a very, very nice like mid-range game that I appreciate. And if Booker was in a better situation, then he would probably be top 15 for me.
Yeah.
But it's also the same thing that you said, where the Suns just aren't fun, and there are so little moments where he's even on that I have to drop him a little bit.
He hasn't had the silver linings in quite a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, Mo, who was your 20 through 16?
At 20, I got Draymond Green. That's the type of fun I'm into, man. I'm not
the craziest thing I've ever seen.
I'm not necessarily into it for the points. I love seeing the defense and how he's able to switch. But hey, when he's not on the court, bro,
What is
do
this?
you know Brother,
Say your whole list. Say your whole list.
20, I got Draymond Green. 19, Jalen Brunson. 18, Shea. 17, D. Mitch. And 16, Nikola Jokic.
You doing like 3 top 10 players in 16.
Draymond Green.
This is the type of fun that I'm into, bro.
I thought you were a Jokic guy though.
I love Jokic.
You marginally enjoy watching Jokic and Shea more than Draymond?
Absolutely. Like, when it comes to bullshit, which is
out here for the
obviously
show.
Fair,
what
fair.
I'm into, bro.
Fair is
Like,
fair.
I allow it.
I'm not only watching the NBA for strictly basketball. I don't give a fuck how nice your footwork is. I don't give a fuck how cool these passes are. Draymond here, man. This is the type of fun. This is the type of fun
Eating crayon.
that's you can't duplicate that, bro. He's truly a generational player
Just hold
in
this,
terms
man.
of
Just hold
he's
this.
truly a generational player in terms of bro.
He got the
You're
big
gonna walk out of here with a new meme. You're gonna walk out of here with the most brain-breaking plays. You're gonna be asking yourself, I can't believe he did that at the end of the night, almost every other night that you see him play.
For Christmas one year, Mo got the 128 pack Crayolas. In the back had the pencil sharpener. He ripped the bitch out, said, "Don't need it. I'm gonna sharpen that bitch myself." Started going to town in his molars.
Now, obviously, Jokic being there is
Outrageous.
like jarring, and it's outrageous. I can understand that. I can understand that, but it's not about Jokic and like my disdain towards watching him because I don't have anything like that. Same thing also applies to Shea. It's just about who's ahead of those guys and what I'm like. What tends to make my mind just get that dose of that relief, you know?
You're legitimately trying to be on crack. And just be like, I just need
It's
that
a dopamine hit, bro. Exactly. Jokic tends to not give me that.
You
Every
know what?
time I
Fair
watch
play.
him, I'm just
Fair-
like, bro,
fair
he's
play.
like, I'm always trying to figure out how he's so good. How is
Interesting.
this
You're an
fucking
aura
possible?
merchant and you put Shea at 18. You were talking about all that aura shit with John Morant. It's Shea. You put him at 18.
So when it comes to Shea, he's also very much fun as well. He's on this list. It's not about him as a player. Like, I can't deduce the type of fun that he provides. The footwork is insane. How he's been able to get to the rim like no other player in the league today is so unique. But in terms of the fun that I'm into, he's just like, he's not the archetype of player that I naturally
Let's call a spade a spade. He's not Dylan Brooks.
Dylan Brooks. I wish Dylan Brooks would have made this list, but I kept the stars only.
Well, calling Draymond a star in 2025 is a bit generous, but I'll allow
Hey,
it.
I mean, he was almost DPOY. He was
Sure.
on the list.
Listen, if a man's on here, we'll allow Draymond. That's a fair reach.
Absolutely.
My 20 through 16. At 20, I got Darius Garland. 19, Damian Lillard. 18, Kevin Durant. 17, Jason Tatum. 16, Kate Cunningham.
Okay.
No Darius Garland on your guys' list. You guys didn't put him on here?
Not the.
He's on my list. He's on my
he's
list.
not- he's not on my
I'm a big Darius Garland guy.
He's fast as hell, simply put. And he uses that speed in a lot of effective ways, and that is incredibly fun to watch. He is outrageously quick when he's on, the way that leads to playmaking, the way the jump shot goes with it. He just moves at a speed that most guards don't move at right now.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. I said the other day on a TD3 stream on Tuesdays, tap the fuck in. He is so toe reliant as a player. And there's not a lot of players like that, bro. The way he just like tap dances anytime he sees a defender, he just sees straight red, bro. And seeing how he's able to zip passes through certain spots on the court that shouldn't be able to happen, he makes it happen. So I like seeing that, and also of course the jump shooting is outrageous as well.
Lillard's at 19. I want Lillard to be a lot higher, but just because of the lackluster era it's been with the Bucks, we haven't quite gotten the amount of like explosion games from him that haven't. So he hasn't been quite as fun as he was on the Trailblazers, and I left room that maybe that's because he's getting older too. I put that kind of baked that in a little bit. When Lillard is on, it's one of the most fun experiences you're ever going to see.
Yeah.
Like, it was only rivaled by Steph Curry in terms of the crazy three-point shot making when he hits. Like, those 70-point games, those crazy playing explosions, bubble explosions, all the stuff we saw over the years.
No, it's iconic.
Some of the most fun basketball moments of our lifetimes.
Yeah.
I agree. I think my vision was just a little bit foggy when it comes to Lillard because I could not watch the Milwaukee Bucks not irritated. I left watching them like, oh my God, Giannis is insane. But also at the same time too, I'm like, why the fuck aren't they working together as much as they should?
Yeah.
Why are they running these types of sets? They're just not.
And that's why he's
effective.
19, not like 11. So this is quite a jump fall off for Lillard in terms of my enjoyment levels. I have utmost Lillard appreciation. So maybe I'm doing a little bit too much glaze still. Maybe some people would take him out of the top 30 by now, but Even he still has good games on the Bucks. So those spike games still carry me.
KD at 18.
Too low?
Yeah,
Really?
it's too low.
Really? At this age?
It's too low.
He's fucking old. I don't know. I mean, just maybe it's also Phoenix Suns tax. Maybe if he goes to Timberwolves and is in a better team environment, I would enjoy watching him more. But it's just been a couple years now of
And that's
cool buckets that lead to nothing and drive nothing
and
because
that's
the team.
fair. Yeah, like and again, like your list was more like watching them this year, and mine was more like when you're at your peak. So I
Mine's like I could treat like a power rankings, like the fun power rankings as of today.
That's fair.
And I mean, for a lot of teams, I don't ding just the team against them, but like the team is Booker, Durant, Beal.
Yeah.
They're the end all be all, and that shit is not fun.
Yeah.
So like I understand that they shouldn't be the end all be all, so that's why the team is bad, and that's why they like I'm not dinging Durant on our like player rankings how good he is, but it's not fun, and he's not necessarily saving the fun factor for me.
So what makes Cade more fun to you?
Oh, or attacks for sure. Or
attacks.
he yells a lot. He's big. He just throws flashy passes. Or attacks 100%. He just moves cool. The way he dribbles just cool. Like
Yo, he's just so attractive.
this is like
I am too.
well, like, yeah, he just moves with the aura on the court that is like the same way that people praise LaMelo and put him up there because he moves so shifty, so different. That's Cade, but he's actually
he's
good.
beating it right now, damn near.
But that's Cade, but he actually leads the team to the playoffs. So like you get the coolness, but it's actually good basketball. He actually took an all-star leap, and it actually isn't an abomination to watch. It's been incredibly fun. A good passer that's also a good one-on-one bucket getter that also has flashy dribbling. Of course, it's going to be a fun player to watch.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to put Draymond even higher on my list. It's like every time I watch the Warriors play,
Or attacks.
you're
That's what we're
walking away
doing.
like, what the fuck did I just watch? It's like a top 10 movie of all time. It's like you will never see a player who just has such a catalog of the most insane, offensive, also physical, destructive plays that you've seen in your damn life, bro. He literally he made Steph Curry cry, bro. Steph Curry's the most like silent assassin, one of the most actually I'm lying like shit.
That's what I'm saying.
He's not silent at all.
lying.
People will say that, and people have been saying this since 2015. Like, oh, Steph, he's just so quiet and humble.
He's a jackass.
No, he is not.
He's a jackass.
No,
You're right.
he is not. Yeah, I completely disagree. The Draymond stuff is. See, you're messing with my GOAT's legacy.
Yeah. Wait, why?
Huh? Because you're out here kicking people, choking people out, getting ejected. Relax. Steph needs you for defense, and you're out here messing it
Brother.
up. Stop playing around.
Seeing him just
Lock in.
air shake somebody, bro, randomly, it's crazy as hell.
Lock in.
Every time you're gonna be walking out the game, like, what did I just watch? It's like a fantastic 10 out of 10 movie, bro. That's what Draymond Green is.
A few years ago, Draymond would have for sure been on my list, but the offense is not fun these days. The offense is the fun level is dramatically lower than it once was. But prime Draymond is certainly a top.
I don't give a fuck about the offense, man. Look at what he's doing when
the
it comes
crowbars.
to the defense, bro. Look how he's assaulting people.
Yeah.
Tatum, I got a 17. Mo, you said I'm at 21. Dominus and said me, so I guess he's higher. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe I should put Tatum higher. I appreciate the shit out of Tatum, but there's 15 like exhilarating players to watch, and Tatum's just not that. So he's like I would say the top 15 is probably when we get to like really fun.
Okay.
So Tatum's like just a little bit below really fun.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's roughly in a similar range for me too. There's just not a lot of players at his size and his height and his just the skillfulness that has the ability to do what he does at the top of the top in the league.
Yo, who's gonna be in his top 10? With the fact that these
Yeah,
four
at this
guys-
point, I don't know. It's just gonna be Braun 5 times and then everybody.
Bronny, Thanasis. Okay, let's move on to the top 15 most
I
fun
can
players.
definitely see Thanasis being on this list.
That'd be crazy.
If he was still in the league, I would see it.
No, man.
He's gonna put fucking Steven Adams,
I'm not that disgusting.
Sengun. Okay, Mo,
All right.
who's your 15 through 11?
15, I have Tyrese Halliburton. 14, I got KD. 13, Darius Garland. 12, Kyrie Irving. And 11, Trae Young.
Trae Young 11.
Naturally,
Trae Young outside the top 10 is, I'm not gonna lie, is a little bit surprising.
Really?
Because he's a Hawks fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But
If you're really about your glazing, you'd have put him 1.
okay,
You're getting soft on us.
listen. I will say,
wanna trade him.
how can I put him top 10 when my life has gone better not watching the Atlanta Hawks?
See, you're realizing something. You're seeing the light.
Exactly. I'm not seeing the light. I'm just like organization wise, it's hard to have as much
You want
fun
to trade
when
him for
it comes to
Sabonis.
Trae.
You want to trade him for Sabonis.
Dude,
Him
that's,
force a bonus.
Yep.
What the
Sabonis,
f-
Jalen Johnson attack.
that's nasty.
Zachary
I do love
Ricochet,
watching
first ball
Jalen
handler.
Johnson though. Jalen Johnson should have.
It's the finest 37 wins I've seen.
Shut up. You see, I have Darius Garland super high as well. Again,
Okay.
I love the the toe tapping that he does. KD is fucking KD. Tyrese Halliburton probably should have been even higher on my list, to be honest, as well, because like watching him, he could put up like 8 points and I'm still having fun watching him.
You could have
Just
seen
the way
for
he's
Darius
pushing
Garland's
the pace.
toes.
I absolutely do, bro.
He's never coming back on the show.
You're probably right.
You just said you had to think for his toes. He's like, nah, man. What are they on?
Listen, I'm not
What are
like
they doing?
examining his toes or anything. It's the play style. How he's getting to it. There's just very few players, and Trey, Kyrie, and Darius are all in the same conversation in terms of like toe tapping and shit. It's a little bit different, but hey, same archetype.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, clearly you have a type. These are all shifty guys. That is really this tier, counting KD even, who obviously looks a little different. He's huge, but
Yeah.
11 through 13, you have a type.
Yeah,
And Halliburton's damn near in that type. Actually, no, Tyrese Halliburton is very different.
he's
But
different. I honestly wish I would have put him higher because his fun is transcendent because it's not only him. He influences like a whole play style. You know.
Transcendent fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Transcendent fun, multidimensional.
It's so
You could find
anti what I'm used to.
religions have been found on less.
Exactly. Religions.
Fair enough. Next tier, Donovan, who do you have 15 through 11?
At 15, I have Tyrese. At 14, I have Luka. At 13, I have Paolo. 12, I have D. Mitch. And at 11, I have Kyrie.
Paolo
Fucking-
Banchero is more fun to you than Luka Doncic?
Luka Doncic is 14 for you?
I'm not, listen,
What the hell?
I'm not a Luka.
Ain't
guy.
nobody showing up to his party, man. That's crazy.
First of all, you had Jokic at like 18. You can't say anything.
I have every right to, but I'll let you continue. Explain your
Luka.
list.
Okay, so like this last year of Luka,
Jackson Hayes, when I catch you, you're ruining his PR.
I can't. No, I honestly
When I
kind of
catch you, Jackson
I kind of
Hayes.
throw it out because it's just like it was a very wild year for Luka.
So this is gauging 2024 Luka on the map?
no. This is just like overall. I'm just overall not a Luka guy. It's not like one of my favorite things. Even whenever he's on, I'm not like
Wow.
I'm in awe, but I'm not like, oh, this is so much fun. Like it's just like this guy's crazy at basketball, but it doesn't translate that over.
That's
so-
crazy.
Me, I'm a Luka guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's same.
Again,
I can agree with you.
amazing stuff, and there is stuff that he does where it's like, oh man, like that's crazy. It's just not.
If you're 6'7" or taller and you're a great passer, you're going to be high on my list. That's why Kate is at 16.
Yeah.
And Luka's the best ever at those things, being
Yeah.
that big and that good of a passer with his scoring bag.
Yeah, speaking of scoring too, we can even double down on his just incredibly tough shot making abilities. Like he just hits the most. What the fuck is that? Like how did that go in?
Yeah.
shots ever.
No,
He's
I
top
under-
3.
You
I
like
like
Paolo's
Yeah.
tough middies, but not Luka's tough middies?
Exactly.
I feel like I have defended Paolo so much. I'm very much invested in his success. So every time I watch the Magic and anytime I watch Paolo do anything good, I'm like, hell yeah, let's go, let's go. So that's very much where I'm at with Paolo. D. Mitch. Also, once I get to like 12 and above, it really is like at your peak.
Yeah.
Who do I think is the best? D. Mitch.
I agree.
When he's on and he's taking 35 shots a game and he's scoring 50 and he's jumping over people,
Yeah.
especially because like he's mad strong, but he isn't like the tallest player. And so seeing him being able to have that much force and fly through the air the way that he does, shout out to him. So I like him at 12. And then Kyrie's Kyrie. And it doesn't
Classic.
it doesn't take that much explaining.
Okay. I think I have Kyrie in this tier
And
as
then
well.
at 15, when it's not happening to you, Tyrese Halliburton is insanely fun.
Yeah.
You know, when he's not ruining your summer, it's a great time.
We call this the small guard tier for me.
Okay.
At 15, I have John Morant. 14, Kyrie Irving. 13, Donovan Mitchell. 12, Jalen Brunson. 11, Tyrese Halliburton. So my favorite players are all really big, really physical, and great passers. My second favorite players are all really small, really shifting buckets, and that's where this tier comes in.
Okay.
Effective small bucket getters. That's what we have. That's all of these guys right here.
I like where you have Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's not necessarily my cup of tea, but I can understand why he's so high.
Anybody who averages 35 points per game in a playoff series is probably my cup of tea, especially when they do it like 5 other 30-point per game playoff series in the ensuing 5 times. That's my cup of tea.
I can agree with you. I'm not saying you're wrong, but when it comes to, he plays a heavier style of basketball than what
He just called Jalen Brunson fat.
No, I didn't. He's just like a little bit heavier than what I'm like used to enjoying. You know, I don't have no weight limit or no like.
You said heavy. No one told heavy means weight.
Yeah, I'm not. It's just like naturally for someone like me, I like to see someone he's light on his feet. Obviously, he's one of the quicker point guards.
That's why he put Jokic low.
It's not. No, there's no.
is fat,
It's not. It's not because when you see who I have top 3, you'd be like, oh fuck, he's arguably one of the bigger players in the league.
He should not rate some fat.
Yeah, no. I mean, no, I did not say that.
You're saying all this, buddy.
I'm just saying Jalen Brunson's not necessarily my cup of tea because
You're fat phobic.
You're a bad guy.
I'm not fat phobic. I love my big bone people out there.
He said some of my favorite people are fat.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah, Kyrie at 14, just getting a little old, so it's not quite as shifty as it once was, but he's still Kyrie. D-Mitch, same reasons you said when D-Mitch is on, outrageous. Brunson, he's just so amazing in the playoffs every year that I can't help but love it. Is he the biggest flopper in the NBA outside of Jimmy Butler? Yes. Do I care? No. It's amazing to watch. Those are the two biggest grifters in the NBA, and I do not care. I enjoy it when it's met with tough shot making outside of it. And yeah, Tyrese Halliburton, what can we say that hasn't been said for the past week? One of the most fun, just conducive to winning players you're ever going to see that plays a very unique style in today's NBA. You don't see a lot of traditional point guards in the sense that aren't the biggest bucket getters, but can when needed. And the way they play makes everybody better. They don't hold on to the ball. And he's doing choking signs against the New York Knicks, which is awesome to see.
Exactly.
That's obviously a humongous aura points. I probably should have put him top 10 for that and that alone. It's great.
No, he's leaned into it. This is the same thing where like a couple years ago, like Trae Young would have been super high on a lot of people's list. Having people lean in to being the villain, which is also a point for Draymond for being fun. Seeing people embrace that when you know people aren't really like on your side or they're not gonna like you, and you are very willing to play that role and still perform on top of that, like that's extremely fun. That's extremely cool.
I think I might have put John Morant a little bit too high.
Really? Why?
Reasons we talked about. Just it was a slow year.
Okay.
But I'm not mad at 15. Mine moved down a couple spots. I forgot who I had right behind him, but
yeah,
I'm looking at the names next to this. I'm like, I like watching these guys a lot more than I like watching Ja.
Okay.
But he is John Morant. He still does jump very high, which is very fun to watch. And now, for the top 10 most fun players to watch of 2025, I'm up first, revealing this list. We got, at 10, I have LeBron James. At 9, I have Joel Embiid. At 8, I have Anthony Edwards. At 7, I have Zion Williamson. And at 6, I have Steph Curry.
Ooh.
What would you title this tier?
I don't know. The runner-ups. Oh, no, I would title this tier at their peak. All these guys are here because of their peak, like you said earlier. Obviously, Joel Embiid barely played this year. When Joel Embiid is at his peak, he is a top 3 player in the world to watch for me. The way he moves at that size, ridiculous. Dinged him because obviously we don't know if we'll ever see him ever again.
Yeah.
But this is the first time we've ever ranked our most fun players. I felt like we saw enough this year that I can still put Joel Embiid on the list for fun factor, just to show some appreciation for the absurd prime he's had. Without saying, if you're an MVP level player and you're that good with that unique of a skill set of that size, you're going to be top 5. Put him top 10 just because injuries.
Okay.
LeBron's here. LeBron is not here because of the way he plays anymore. LeBron is the top 10 most fun player to watch to me because his name is LeBron James. That is why LeBron James is on this list.
That's crazy.
I didn't even try to divorce the fact that he's LeBron James and he's the GOAT from my view. That is a huge part of the enjoyment factor of watching LeBron James, watching the Lakers. He's here because he's LeBron. Is on the court, is he one of the 10 most fun players to watch me anymore? Probably not, but he is going to be that because he's LeBron.
Okay, I respect the glaze.
And then Zion, what I got to say about going for peak.
That's your guy.
When Zion's healthy,
Zion's
he might be 2 for me. Zion's one of the best players to watch ever for me. I love the just ridiculous explosiveness he has, the passing feel, the absurd touch finishing on layups is outrageous. Just the top tier for me, like top 5, are all rare mixes of athleticism and skill. Zion's extremely rare in that way.
I love this list. Zion is the poster boy for what you just said in terms of rare athleticism and just like unforeseen skill that the NBA hasn't seen before. The thing with Zion though, I put him even higher than you, I believe. Or maybe he's in the same range. I'm not sure. I love having fun watching Zion. I have a lot of fun watching Zion Williamson. The only thing is that I don't have a lot of fun because he's not there a lot of the time. So, but when he is there, it outweighs each other. Yeah, it outweighs each other.
Yeah, and this isn't a player ranking list. I don't give a shit about his availability. It's how fun you are. my God, he is a thrill to watch when he's on. The only reason he's not top 5 is because there's 5 freaks of nature in the NBA right now. They're occupying all those spots, but I feel Curry and Zion are like as high as anybody. And throw Ant in there too. The top 8 are truly the top tier.
Yeah,
Okay.
it makes sense.
Okay. I like the Embiid placement. I just didn't put him on my list at all simply because
Fair enough.
he didn't move the same this year because he's going through whatever mystical injuries he's going through. And on top of that as well, we didn't see him a lot. So I think Joel Embiid for me would be probably around the similar range, maybe even a little bit higher because his size, he's just a fucking freak of nature, and the skill set, the dribble package, the finishing, the defense, like all around, even like the off court shenanigans, the heckling that he does as well is all fun. But sadly, I just didn't get to see it enough. That's why he didn't touch my list at all.
Yeah, I'm obviously being quite generous with that. I just wanted to. And also, when he came back, he had some games. He wasn't like 100%.
Dude, he did
but
have
he's-
like a 30 or 40 point game.
He
I
had
think.
30. He had a 30-point game. He still looked amazing. He still obviously wasn't as amazing as when he was vying for MVPs, but it still looked pretty fun.
He had a big ass like robotic. He had a big ass cast on his leg. I remember that too.
And I think he's never going to be the same, but I think we'll still get high peaks when he comes back, at least the start of this next season.
Yeah.
He has a lot of time off. I imagine we'll see a good version. It's just how long will it last before the next injury? I don't know, but I don't think he's like never going to be a top 10 most fun watch player again.
Okay.
Next up, we got both your guys' list.
Okay.
Mo, you go first.
So at 10, I got LaMelo Ball. Again, when you talk about just box office and just straight up pure entertainment, could be good, could be bad. You watch funny movies, sad movies, scary movies, all to just be entertained. LaMelo Ball is that encapsulated into
Okay, say the whole
one.
list.
9 LaMelo Ball, 9 LeBron James, 8 Lillard, 7 John Morant, and I got 6 Luka Doncic.
Okay, fair enough. Again, John LaMelo, House of Highlights specialist. Your list is the House of Highlights list, and
It
I
is.
respect it.
It is.
I mean, hey, I appeal to the masses,
Yep.
and I will say I am the voice for the people.
Donald, who you got?
All right, at 10, I have Tatum, 9 KD, 8 LeBron, 7 Giannis, 6 Ant.
7 Giannis was crazy. You don't look. I forgot. We had so many agenda wars over the year, but Giannis doesn't surprise me. Never mind.
No, he's cool. There's, I mean, the guys in the top 5, I just like them more. Like I think once everybody in top 7 could make an argument to actually be in my top 5, but like once we get like there's only 5 spots in the top 5, so I just have to put some
Just say it.
some people outside of there.
Just be honest.
What?
He doesn't got a bag, does he?
I mean, no, not really. Listen, the bag is growing though.
Yeah,
It is.
The bag is growing, and so there are times with Giannis where you're just like, man, I don't know what I'm watching, and it's insane. But yeah, he's just at 7 for me. That also might be a little bit of Bucks tax, where like the team sucks as well.
I'm surprised LeBron is at. You have LeBron the highest out of all of us. I'd love to see that.
For the reason that y'all said, it's not even about the play style, but also this is like at their peak still.
Mm-hmm.
When LeBron is on, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Even when LeBron is just regular LeBron game, right? He is so theatric and so just dramatic with everything that the way he walks up the court, the way he just watching LeBron play basketball is an experience just because he's gonna do one or two things like Draymond where it's gonna end up as a meme at the end of the night and it's just gonna be funny. So yeah, I have LeBron at 8. KD, listen, even still, the middies are crazy, and the shot making when KD is on and he's knocking down mid ranges, it legitimately looks like he is the best scorer to ever play the game.
Tatum at 10. You trying to make up for past wrongs?
No, when Tatum, what have I always yelled about with Tatum?
Where do I begin? Where do I begin?
About a lot of things.
It's the fact that there have been
soft, pretty boy.
there have been times when, like, I'm just like, yo, I'm gonna need you to actually do the thing. I'm gonna need you to start scoring, and it hasn't necessarily been there. But when Tatum is on and he is doing the thing, his shot making is crazy. And then you put that together with what he's doing defensively. You're like, this is exactly who I think that this 6'9" dude should be. So at his peak, yeah, he is very fun to watch. I just get mad because it's not necessarily there every time that I'm trying to see him be in his bag.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. I love basketball so much that I wish I could put all these players like top 10, top 15, obviously. But seeing the type of fun that Tatum, what?
That's the corniest thing you've ever said.
I love basketball.
I do, man. I
I
have
just
a lot
love
of
these
fun.
guys so much.
I'm telling you the truth, man.
I think everybody should
can't-
get a
I can't-
trophy.
Yeah,
There's
these are
not
all
one.
great basketball players.
There's not one like.
Lame.
There's not one ranking that I've seen you guys
for
do
real.
that I'm just like, oh, this
So
is
lame
fucking
ass up.
terrible. It's the truth, bro. It sounds corny, but it's the truth at the end of the day. I can understand your ranking for Tatum because I think I had him at like 21. You had him at 17 or something of that nature.
Yeah, 21 was crazy.
It's really not when you see the tendencies that I have. It's really not.
It's not. You're right. It's not crazy. Again, I think if we gauge who gets on House of Highlights the most, he's probably about 21st.
Probably.
So that makes sense.
Maybe.
Okay, so this is all names you'd expect to see. So obviously we have this is our most different list we've ever had, obviously.
Yeah.
Let's see these top five. So we're going to reveal them all at once. At 5, I have Luka Doncic. At 4, Giannis. 3, Nikola Jokic. 2, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 1, Victor Wembanyama.
Okay. At 5, I have Shea. 4, I have Brunson. 3, I have Jokic. 2 is Curry. 1 is Wemby.
Okay. At 5, I have Anthony Edwards. 4, Giannis. 3, Zion. 2, Wemby. And 1, I got Curry.
Shout out to you.
Similar-ish list. I like
You
what
enjoy
guys
watching
have.
2025 Curry more than Wemby? I don't believe you.
I will, as much as you can say we've never seen anything like Victor Wembanyama, we will never see nothing like Steph Curry ever. I think that we're more likely to see another duplicate of Wembanyama compared to seeing someone like Curry.
I don't know about that.
The gap in skill
hard,
set.
that's hard
Wemby's
because like,
7'5". I don't know.
Yeah, like we've had, like Dame is probably the closest thing that we've seen to Steph in terms of all that.
Even then, it's an insane gap.
Yeah, but again, we've never seen somebody 8'2" be able to play defense and move the way that Wemby does. But listen, I have Steph at 2.
Yeah.
This is at my peak where, and the argument for Steph is, no matter where you are, if you get a text in any group chat saying, "Oh my God, Steph is going crazy," I'm stopping anything that I'm doing. I'm pulling the phone. I'm pulling the game up on my phone. I have to see what Steph is gonna do, and I think that out of everybody on this list, out of all of our combined stuff, Steph has the biggest draw when he's on and somebody's like,
Easily.
yo, he's going crazy. You have to watch that more so than anybody else on this list.
It's literally must. He is the definition of what must watch to me because it just simply can't be replicated. And you can try to, but at the end of the day, it's not going to look the same because it's just ongoing 48 minutes of just brain-breaking plays, the audacity, the celebration, how we just influence an entire generation of basketball ongoing. Like, it's just so much when it comes to talking about Steph Curry. And I think when he retires, outside of LeBron James, he's going to be the player that I miss watching the most, for sure.
Yeah.
Me too.
I'm with you.
I would have said that. Wemby got us. Wemby's taking that crown for you have to watch must-see TV or something like
He
that.
said, Steph, it's okay. Go home.
Wemby's here.
We're good.
Do y'all remember Christmas? I felt like that was the passing of the torch for the most exhilarating player in the NBA to Wemby. That game, did he have like 48?
It was like 40 and 20.
Something like that.
It was something wild.
That felt like what I felt like watching Curry when he was breaking out. Like, you can obviously, the peak of Curry was to maybe an even greater degree. It came out of nowhere. So you could say that's even more fun at his peak. Wemby is damn close. That felt like everything you just described is exactly how I feel about Wemby these days. That everybody tune in because he's having one of those games. And we're only going to get more and more of those as the time goes on. The 7'5" tax. Nothing has ever been seen like this. Right now, this might wear off over time the way it has for Giannis, the way that you put Giannis at 6 because we're so accustomed to it because you've seen him dunk on motherfuckers' faces 500,000 times. Wemby's still fresh enough that it's still, what the hell am I looking at? We got at least like 18 more months of this before people get accustomed to it.
Yeah.
At least until we get a deep playoff run, then people might start taking it for granted. But for now, it feels like I'm watching a new version of basketball. If we got a new software update and all of our eyes aren't adjusted yet.
Yeah.
That's why he's at 1 for me, because from the, and even as he's ascended, like you said, there's still that level of intrigue because he isn't the best player in the league now. So every night you're watching him, you're trying to see how fast can we get there? Are we gonna get there? Like, is he is he gonna have a 5-10 game stretch where we're all thinking like, okay, no, he's top 4, top 3. This legitimately is here. So that intrigue on his constant rise and ascension, that is why he's won for me over Steph. But I don't hate you for that because I think that Steph still, controls that.
Brunson at 4 is surprising until I realized that your list and it's not surprising.
Jalen Brunson saved my life. Like, what do you mean? The Knicks are in the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in, I guess, like my coherent, like they made it when I was like 9 months or like a year, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, like seeing Brunson do the things that he does, his footwork. Look, you said that you don't care about footwork. One of my favorite players ever is Kobe, and seeing like that was always one of the biggest talking points was Kobe's footwork. And you go down and you look at everybody who does that, and Brunson being able to also have that and be able to score at his size. He should be 3. There's a little part of me that does hate the foul stuff. Yeah. Right. So I'm not gonna put him top 3, but everything else is like, nah, this is my guy.
Yeah. Giannis has to be top 5 for me. I have not stopped taking Giannis. Like I haven't started taking him for granted at all as a physical guy. I feel the way when I watch him, the way that people sound like when they watch Wilt Chamberlain, where it's like, oh, so this guy is just in a tier above as a human being. The way he moves, the things he's physically capable of. I still feel that way with Giannis. Like even in the Pacers series, they said no chance, and it was disgusting. They had no chance to win. Kuzma and KPJ were on the court. It was nasty hoops. Giannis was a god amongst men. I still feel insane when I watch him.
I agree. When I think of Giannis, I think of 7'5" or 7 foot Marshawn Lynch. He just he's so fucking relentless in the way he's able to just finish around the rim by strictly force is easily one of the most impressive things that I've seen in my lifetime. I was alive when Shaq was doing his thing, but I wasn't conscious seeing him being able to give guys like 30 and fucking 40 in the paint by using 1 to 2 moves and just spamming the fuck out of it.
I just realized when you were ducking the Fat Phobic allegations and you said you got a big guy in your top 5, you were talking about Zion Williamson.
And here we go. Here's a Zion combo. When I watched Zion Williamson, he put up the most entertaining like 22, 23 points per game ever. How swift he is at that size. Like these next 4 for me right here, you guys chemically just don't make fucking sense with how they play basketball. And Zion is damn near Zion and Wemby are just like the epitome of that, because how are you so big, so fast, so strong, but also play so with like, you play with urgency and you play with such quickness. Your second jump just doesn't make any sense. And you're telling me like your arms are that massive and you have such a soft touch that doesn't make any sense, bro. You know?
Oh, he's so small.
No, I'm just saying he just doesn't make any sense. Every time I watch him play,
he's buff and he's good with his hands.
All right, buddy. All right, buddy. I don't know what you're describing right now. I'm talking about basketball.
And obviously Nikola Jokic goes without saying, top 3. Best player in the world, one of the most skilled players of all time, one of the best offensive players of all time. Anytime you watch a legend at their peak, it's beautiful to me. It's just like you're just witnessing greatness and you know it in the moment. Everybody else knows it. You hit a certain point around when he won a championship where everybody became extremely aware of his all-time status. And every time he does anything in a game, he has a 40-20 game. He had that 60-point, not a 60-point. What was it? No,
it was like a 60.
Yeah, the 60-point triple-double. Yeah. He has big games like that, and immediately in the moment, people were like, oh, so this is one of the 5 best players I've ever seen at their peak. And like, nobody's gassing. He is one of the best players of our lifetimes. Not to say he's top 5, whatever number you say, but legend in the moment. The only reason he's not 2 for me, I put Shea at 2, and this is exclusively for this year. Next year, Jokic will be back at 2, just because this year we're watching Shea like also play himself into all-time great status with his team, with the MVP season. It's a similar type of thing. It's like if we were watching 2021 Jokic again, where he's entering the all-time status of top 35, 40, whatever the number is. Like I said, whatever number constitutes one of the best players to ever play, Shea has played himself into that this year. And watching the birth of a legend is always the most fun thing in sports for me.
Yeah, I've talked about it plenty of times how Shea should be the thing that everybody looks at and like wraps their arms around in terms of a star who plays at all 3 levels, has the mid-range as a significant part of his game, gets to the rim, has all has really everything.
Yeah.
And the conversation has just turned a completely like different way, which sucks.
Yeah.
The only reason why he's at 5 for me, this is actually, it's well, obviously, like I guess the conversation really would be over like him and Jokic, but Jokic is just like that good. It's kind of an efficiency tax for Shai. There's times where he's so good and so quick to getting to his spots where you look up in the third quarter and you're like, oh, he has 30. I don't even remember.
It's too easy.
Right? Like I don't even remember him getting.
That's why you have Giannis low too. It's too easy for him.
Getting to 30. And so you have to go back and like rewatch and be like, oh no, like he was different. But like in the moment, he's just I'm gonna just get here, get to my spot. I'm gonna score 2. I'm gonna get 2 here, get to the free throw line, and at the end of the day, he's scoring 35, and you're like, wow, like what just happened?
And that's why I love it. No wasted movements. Everything is incredibly efficient. It is a basketball fan's dream. If you aren't just like, if you're not personally outraged by the foul drawing, then it's a basketball fan's dream. The way he's just so effective in every way. And as far as the foul drawing goes, I get it. To each their own. Some people don't like it. I understand it. End of the day, if you don't like flopping, I can't argue with you. It's dramatic. If you think that hampers your enjoyment to the point where you can't enjoy Shai to the degree, no problem with it. I enjoy it. I think it's pretty smart, and I think it's good basketball, and I applaud it because you combine that with all the other aesthetic stuff. So there's enough aesthetics that the unaesthetic part that is flopping doesn't bother me so much. So I'm like, hey man, he has the bag and he has the smart stuff to get to the line. It's a complete basketball player. I respect it.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I like your point, especially when it comes to seeing how effective and how quick Shai's able to get his 30, 33 points or whatever it might be within the blink of an eye. The only reason why he's not so high for me, I think I had him like 16 or whatever.
Yeah, you had him crazy low.
Is that his, like, notice I have 1 Curry, 2 Wemby, 3 Zion, and Giannis and Ant. Like, there's real like replay value when it comes to seeing what these guys are doing compared to someone like Shai. Shai's just so textbook to a T. I'm not saying that's not fun. Obviously, like seeing defenses lose their fucking mind trying to figure out how to guard him and throw so many coverages and it still don't matter is obviously fun. But when it comes to just like, what the fuck did I just? How were you able to shoot from that far or jump so fast or? You know, there's like an athleticism thing.
Yeah. Because like outside of Curry, everybody else is like pretty like above the rim, and Shai isn't.
Yeah. Not house of highlights worthy plays. It's not big dunks. It's not crazy deep threes. It's all fundamental in between the arc and the rim. It's all not outwardly exciting in that way. I understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't care. I love it.
Yeah, and I'm right with you too. Having Shai at 2 is perfectly fine. For me personally, I just like seeing people defy odds of physics. And all these guys do that. Shai just doesn't.
Yeah, once Shai wins the title, he'll drop to 4 or 5. Again, he's here right now just because we're witnessing this crazy year where it's like transcending into legend status, like making the Hall of Fame this year. That's why he's so high. Like the journey is amazing to watch. That's past it and where everybody's on the same level, these other guys have rings. I like watching Giannis and Jokic more.
I will say, if the Thunder do fulfill what feels like the ultimate prophecy at this point and like become this next dynasty, Shai actually is gonna rise for me. I love dynasties. I love seeing somebody not only get to the top but maintain that excellence whenever everybody in the world is going for your spot, is everybody is gearing their team to beat you, and they just can't do anything about it. Like that was always something with the Warriors where obviously I know it was like unfair, like having KD there, but it was also cool seeing a team be that dominant. And so if they can do it, I don't know who's gonna jump. I guess he'll jump Jokic, but like that'll be something for me that like is actually very, very fun.
Okay, I understand that. That's not bad at all. Do you know what's more fun than talking about the top 25 fun players in the NBA?
Tell me.
My opinion, it's fucking TikTok time.
Oh.
Crayon eating time. Y'all, I need you guys to gear up. You at home, if you got a crayon, pencil, pen, marker, whatever it is, rock with us.
Put your crayons in the sky.
And wave them.
It's like, it's like a starlet.
And with that being said, we're on to TikTok time.
Unite!
Welcome to TikTok time. Today, we're once again Gonna begin with the draft.
We move.
That was crazy. Stop that right now. Today we're gonna do a classic draft, one that we did like 2 years ago when we did the format a little bit different. We are gonna draft NBA lineups with only players who played for the Los Angeles Lakers. We've been going through a lot of teams. We're gonna go through all 30 eventually. Figure with today we do one of the classic ones because now we do these drafts where we select an individual year, a specific version of the player, not them in their prime. That might change things a little bit.
Damn. This is the worst first pick to have.
And you do have number one right now. It is Mo number one, Donovan number two, me number three. You guys know how this works. Only players that played for the Lakers. You pick them in a specific version of them in that uniform. Mo, where are we going with the first overall pick?
This is the hardest pick to make because I can go in all types of places. But you know who I am. You know me. Give me LeBron James 2020. Okay. Is he the best Laker of all time? I don't know, but is his name LeBron Ramon James? Yes, I'm taking him number one.
Fair enough. Donovan, where are you going?
See, this is very hard because whoever I pick obviously is giving you your strategy, but
I'm chilling either way.
You know me, you know my game. Give me 2000 and give me 2001 Kobe Bryant.
Oh, okay.
Fuck.
That is not what I expected.
Oh shit.
Okay.
I should have took this guy.
01 Kobe.
Okay.
Well, I got exactly what I wanted. Give me MVP Shaq. Give me 2001 Finals MVP Shaq, and give me Magic Johnson.
Fuck.
I gotta go. The point guard center combination is crazy.
Yeah, I
can't believe you gave him Shaq.
What a crazy pick and roll.
It's okay. I mean, I'm gonna take. See
who you pairing with Kobe? Who's the best compliment to Kobe?
We'll just go and we'll just get some. I mean, we have Shaq. We'll just go get a crazy athlete. Nah, I'll take whatever is the best version. So we'll go like 1980 something. Just give me young Kareem. I don't know exactly like what specific year, but I'll take young Kareem.
I like how we picked both guard, big man combination, just flipped them.
Yeah.
Just what would happen?
That's why I figured I knew you were gonna get one of them. So I was like, let me just get Kobe.
You get the other one? Okay. Oh, you put the years for this. Okay. So that's fair. We both got nice guard big combos. Mo, who are you gonna pair LeBron with?
Damn. All right, well, you guys tonight, the greatest of all time. These are all what? They're all top 10, 11 players of all time. Lakers are so greedy, man. This is not fair.
You're going to pick Luka?
Damn. Luka didn't have necessarily the greatest year just yet. But for the sake of placement on this team, I think I'd rather have Luka than any other guard at point guard for me personally. So give me Luka.
Oh, you actually are taking Luka.
Yeah,
Okay.
give me. So far, he's the best fit on this team. I know where I'm going.
Okay.
I don't need to rush into certain spots, so give me Luka.
That's crazy. Okay. Who's after that?
So after Luka, go ahead and also let me double up, get 2020 AD as well.
Okay, picking all the new guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad setup at all.
Dom, where are you going?
You froze.
I can't let you have this. So at my power forward, give me Wilt Chamberlain.
Fuck, I forgot about him.
I wasn't gonna pair Wilt and Shaq. That would be ridiculous spacing. Okay, what year is Wilt? I don't even know.
About spacing and
it is what it is.
Yeah,
I was not gonna pick Wilt Chamberlain. Dude, Kobe with Wilt and Kareem on the block, just hand up. He's watching.
Yep.
Give me Elgin Baylor and James Worthy. We get two athletic forwards.
Well, fuck.
You got James.
Those are my guys I thought were gonna stay. I'm cooked.
Yeah, give me guys to guard LeBron and Kobe. That's what I need.
But I'll tell you something. Can't nobody guard 01 Kobe.
James Worthy's gonna do his best.
Who do I want at the 3? We have a couple options, but if I have Wilt and Kareem, and here's the thing. See, a lot of people like to disrespect Kobe. Understand he did what he did, because he had to. He's a basketball savant and really can do everything on the floor. So we are going to go and I'll take some defense. We're going to get Michael Cooper. And
a point guard?
Okay.
For right now, we'll put Cooper at the 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you need role players for sure, so it's not crazy. That's why I picked James Worthy. You need guys
But
who
if
need the ball.
need be, Kobe will be running point guard,
Okay.
and it will happen.
Speaking of guards, again, one of the greatest point guards of all time. I'm surprised he's still on the board. He played the 2 as well. Had some size, I guess. Doesn't matter because I have Luka and LeBron. At my shooting guard, give me Jerry West.
I'm surprised Donovan did not pick him.
Yeah.
But okay.
At my shooting guard, give me Jerry West.
Fair enough. Straight ball handler. Somebody has to play defense at some point.
I got Anthony Davis back there for a reason.
Not guarding Shaq.
2020
Stupendous.
LeBron as well. Oh, yeah, it's going to be. I like where I'm going. So I got Luka, Jerry West, LeBron, and AD. And now, naturally, let me just complete the semi-modern trifecta. I need someone who just has a lot of length because I have Wilt, Kareem, Shaq to deal with. I'm in fucking hell right now. Give me Pau Gasol at my 4.
Okay.
I think he obviously doesn't command the ball as much. I like where I'm at. This is tough. This is so strategic that we're doing.
This is tough. These
This is
last
so
two.
serious.
yeah, I was so serious.
Yeah.
Also tense. God. Okay, these last two this is tough.
Very hard.
It is. There's a guy that I want to take just to have this be fun, but I need a little bit more
You need
shooting.
to be a little serious.
This is,
Shooting. The Lakers don't have historical great shooters at all.
that's what I'm saying. But I don't. This is like very much like role player stuff.
Jared Vanderbilt,
Ooh.
Trevor Ariza.
Hey.
We're
Shut the fuck up.
We're taking 09 Trevor Ariza.
That's fine. I was thinking about Ariza, but you can have him. Because I'm going to stay big, I'm going to stay athletic, and I'm going to have crazy defense. Give me Alex Caruso at my shooting guard. I'm going to have defense, athleticism flying everywhere around Magic and Shaq.
Alex Caruso mentioned. Nice. Okay.
One of the best guard defenders of the modern NBA.
Oh yeah, you're small.
I'm small. James Worthy and Elgin Baylor are like 6'8".
I got Wilton Cap.
I got
over.
Shaq. I have Shaquille O'Neal and a 6'9" point guard.
Damn. So I got
Small.
Luka, Jerry West,
Baby.
LeBron, Pau Gasol, and Anthony Davis.
I have Michael Cooper, Kobe Bryant, Trevor Ariza, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I have Magic. I have the Bald Eagle. I have Elgin Baylor, James Worthy, and Shaq.
Man, this spacing for all of us is so disgusting.
It's a rock fight.
Yeah, no, it's actually disgusting.
I wanted to have the fastest team, and I got that.
Man. I don't even know who won.
How do you even? Who's to say?
I know.
It's the Lakers. All I know is Donovan lost.
It's so silent. Yeah. It's so silent now. I'm like, damn. Luka, Jerry West, LeBron, AD, and Gasol. But then you got Magic, Caruso, Elgin Baylor, James Worthy. Jeez. And
You
Shaq.
definitely played to the TikTok comment, so they're gonna say you won because you picked the players that they watched. So they're definitely gonna pick you.
Man.
The love that 2020 AD gets.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
When he had his shot, oh man.
All right. Next thing we're gonna do, we are gonna react to the craziest Skip Bayless NBA takes of all time.
Man, this old man be tripping.
He looked like he just said the most trifling thing ever, bro. He's like, I dare you to say something.
We're gonna grade these takes based on whatever you want. I mean, it's Skip Bayless, so it's not how good they are. All the takes are horrible. So on performance art, grade these takes.
All right.
Whatever you want. Whatever it means
That's
to
what
you.
I'm saying. If we're strictly talking about performance art, one of the greatest of all time.
Yes. We're talking about anything else outside of performance art? Not so much. But we're here to look at his, I don't know if you want to call him worst or most outlandish,
His
whatever the
tank
verbiage.
discography.
His tank discography. The best that Skip Bayless has to offer to this world.
When you think of the word hater, his picture pops up, bro, in the definition book.
Yep.
Easy.
So here we go. First up.
Talking about, he said in the definition book instead of the dictionary.
You know what I mean?
The definition book.
It's like there's a word for that.
We're going to start with the LeBron hate, obviously. Let's go back to the beginning. May 2009, LeBron will never win an NBA championship. The start of it all.
This is the great not choke year, but embarrassing year. Did he get swept by the Spurs this year?
No,
they lost to the Celtics. They lost to the Magic in the conference finals.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is the birth of Skip Bayless. When he first decided LeBron is the guy he's going to hate. It really, when you think about that, this started it all. This birthed modern sports media.
It did.
In the worst way possible, but it did. This is an influential take that he took and ran with.
Just because of how influential it was, I have to give it an A. So many people at this point, because LeBron had won 2 MVPs at this point, just lost in the Eastern Conference Finals, hadn't been back to the finals in a mere 3 years. Yeah, it was looking kind of scary, and Skip was.
But like it wasn't though. But like he was the best player in the NBA, like 25 years old, and he decided, I'm gonna say this guy sucks. That was so trendsetting to just pick the clear-cut best guy who will obviously win a championship and be like, fuck him. He's never gonna win.
He was just trying so hard to be first to something so nonsensical, and seeing. I respect it standing on this take, and he did it for so long, even to this day. But it's just not good talk. It's not good for the brain at all.
Yeah, I'm going to go F just because he got so much better over the years. This is the birth of it. This is when he was in his junior state. He got a lot better at standing against LeBron over the years. I'm going to give this one an F to start. Next up, 2013. There is no way that LeBron James was already a first ballot Hall of Famer. So, not first said he's not going to win. Then he won, and he's like, not in the Hall of Fame yet, though. He kept changing his perception.
In 2013, LeBron was Now I can't remember if this was in June or post finals, but let's just assume this is post finals.
Back-to-back MVP.
This is mid Heatles.
Yeah.
Mid Heatles. 4-time MVP, 2-time champion, Olympic gold medalist,
Twice,
a scoring leader, consistent first team all defense. And he said, nah.
He was second in DPOY that year.
And he said, you know what? He got to wait. He has to wait. Maybe second ballot, not first ballot.
And then he was like, I mean, if we're being serious, Tiago Splitter is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Anybody's a Hall of Famer. But not LeBron.
Yeah, this is just not even funny at this point in time. It's just irritating. And that's a lot of Skip Bayless. It's funny because he stands on it and he's so like firm in his belief. But actually just listening to the statement, it just makes me lose all interest in just like I get this more on off of my screen.
See, it gets funny over time. It wasn't funny yet. Right now it's eye rolly. Another F, but we'll get there.
Easy F.
Next up, LeBron is not a top 5 player in NBA history. So first, he's not going to championship. Then he wins one. It's not Hall of Fame though. Then obviously that got shut up. We come to 2016, November 2016. So after the 3-1 comeback, and he says, not top 5 all time though. The third goalpost shift.
Let's see, top 5 at that point would have been like LeBron, Kareem, Mike, Magic, and whoever else you want to put. You know what? Again, not the best time to say it, but if he had waited, if he had said it 3 months earlier, right? Before the comeback, maybe you can have any type of argument that he's not top 5. Once you get that 3-1 comeback, yeah, you got it.
You're cemented in history at that point in time.
This is the point at which I start respecting Skip Bayless and the player hating. This is the point that we're 7 years into this experience, and you've continued to find ways to say, nope, 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 nope. And LeBron has continued ways to say yes, 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 and you just keep shifting. At this point, I'm like, keep going. Let's see where this lends us. I'm giving this an A.
Yeah, because it's not like he's leaning on stats to back him up. It is pure nuh-uh.
Not like that. No. Don't think so.
Exactly.
I'm giving this a D because at this point in time, for me, I was 16 years old when he made this take. I'm like, oh shit. Like, he's actually a dumbass, and it's starting to become actually funny. Let me keep on watching this garbage show.
This is where it progressed to Skip Bayless' prime. After first take, undisputed FS1 era, he was on top of the world. He'd perfected the craft by now.
Yeah.
It was no more, I think so-and-so was better, so 101. It's, I think everybody's better than LeBron, actually. I think LeBron sucks. He just took it to the next level and made himself a cartoon.
And he had to. This is it's a very clear example of being elevated by your teammates, right? Because when you're on first take and it's him and Stephen A is also a Michael Jordan, like he's the GOAT kind of guy. But he's just trying to be like, listen, let's just have some common sense.
Yeah.
The moment you put Shannon Sharp Mr. Goat James on the other side. Now it's like, I have to step my game up. Iron sharpens iron.
Yep.
And that's what Skip Bayless did in 2016.
You are absolutely correct. This man Shannon Sharp pulled up to a show one day wearing a whole goat mask, Henny, and he had cigars and all that. I believe it was after
been a
the
wild boy
2016
for a long time.
performance. Yeah, it's been in his blood. But seeing what he's been able to do, Skip specifically, and how he just continuously just gets more and more crazy from this point on, it's still a D for me.
Okay. And here we are to perfection. If he trained for 2 months, 52-year-old LeBron James would beat 30-year-old LeBron James in a one-on-one.
A+.
This is the best take of all time.
It's
A+.
It's the one.
This is the funniest thing anybody's ever said in sports media. A+.
Makes you even think about 52-year-old Michael Jordan 1v1ing LeBron James, damn near peak of his powers at 30 years. Why?
Hatred.
What do you gain from
He got a
that?
vial of hatred, rolled up his elbow. That's what makes you think of that. Pure hatred directly injected into the veins.
And mind you, some people believe this. As soon as Skip said it, it was a legit debate. Someone was like, well, if you think about it, you know,
There are many unks around the country.
on a good day,
Many unks around the country in barbershops, in AutoZone waiting rooms that'll hear this and be like, I like the way this guy thinks. He knows his audience.
Like, he just woke up one day and this is the most productive thing that he was able to think of. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to say this on air and spew this nonsense.
And his reasons were like, when it comes to pure willpower, the lights will be too bright. LeBron won't be able to keep up. That's just good. That's just good TV. That's just good TV right there.
Bro, go take your wife on a date. What are we talking about right now, man? How is this productive? Damn.
He's like, go to brunch.
Damn, man.
Go play bingo.
One of the most hilarious, I don't know if this is on this list, it's probably not, but one of the most hilarious things that Skip has said is that I think he said this on air about his wife. He was like, I looked at my wife and I'm like, you will never be number one in my life. You are always number two to LeBron and what I have to talk about on air.
Hey, she doesn't pay the bills. LeBron does.
Exactly. Top tier.
He knows where the important parts of life are at. But fair enough. This is where we get to A+ takes. This is where we get into pure craftsmanship.
Yeah.
We're at the peak now. Winning the 2020 finals actually hurts LeBron's legacy because it was an absolute cakewalk.
again, people believe this.
People believe this shit?
People actually believe this. And this is really where, like you said, this is where the craftsmanship comes in. Because it's one thing just to say nonsense. It's another thing to start bringing people on your side. This is just good leadership on his part.
When you say LeBron isn't a top 20 player of all time, you're just stupid. When you sprinkle in just enough biased logic that you can get some people on your side, that's when you hit the peak of what you do. And this is that.
Using the idea that the bubble championship is a fake Mickey Mouse championship, shout out to you. That is the type of arguing that they teach you in law school. Right? That's what you pay Harvard for.
Using
to hit all the loopholes.
Using your stupidity for good. This is ingenuity. This is what you do when your brain doesn't work that well. You use it for chaotic evil or chaotic good, whatever we want to call it. Craftsmanship.
He is a true witch in my mind for this take because he cultivated a whole entire cult of just people who just started spewing Mickey Mouse ring, Disney ring, and all this other shit. And like you guys said, people believe it. And this is like truly like one of the special talents that's ever been able to touch this earth. The level of hate to say you did this thing and say that the thing is not good is crazy. He's a witch. There's no explaining this at all.
What a guy.
He's literally evil eye, bro. He's all the negative things in the Bible.
He said, I hate him. We got this take from 2022. The Lakers finally win a game decisively in spite of LeBron suffering yet another dismal 3-point night. 0 for 7. Rest of the team was 17 for 36 from 3. Westbrook had more impact than LeBron with a triple-double. This is the kicker, the last sentence. LeBron now rivals Westbrook. Well, I can't talk. LeBron now rivals Westbrook for the NBA's worst three-point shooter.
To do this in a December basketball game. He's up every morning, 5 a.m., watching highlights, crafting his takes, making sure, is my hate good enough? Is there a different angle that I can get this hate off? It's amazing. Again, 2 days after Christmas. Go be with your family.
Nope.
Right?
I'm getting these takes off.
Like, what's going on, man? Like,
who hurt you? You know,
LeBron.
His childhood, man. I remember. Never mind.
LeBron now rivals Westbrook for the worst 3-point shooter in the NBA.
What was he shooting? Let me pull up
I
LeBron's
think it was like
percentage.
34% or something like that. It wasn't even, he wasn't the shooter that he is known to be now. But seeing LeBron, obviously I don't know if LeBron saw this or not, but LeBron he became the best shooter in the entirety of his fucking career, bro.
He saw it.
So.
In the 22-23 NBA season, LeBron James shot 32%. Oh, okay.
That was bad.
Hey, he's
That
cooking.
was a bad year. That
He's
was a bad year.
cooking.
Damn.
He shot 32% from three. My bad, Skip. A+.
All right.
But see, the point here is to see the Westbrook outrage and how much everybody hates him in a Lakers uniform and say, let me take that and let me spin that and put it back to LeBron by saying LeBron's even worse. That is a spin right there. We need to teach that in journalism school.
Hey, yo, man, 32% on 7 attempts a game.
Oh, that is kind of crazy.
He was a brick.
Yeah, this is skillful. This is skillful witchcraft right here.
Skillful witchcraft.
You got it.
Okay. Next one. Back to 2012. We're done with LeBron stuff. Underrated. Austin Rivers has star power. Overrated. Bradley Beal just didn't see it enough.
What does that mean?
It means, hey, Bradley Beal, no it factor. Austin Reeves, clutch gene. That's what it means.
Okay, he tweeted this right after, a couple of days after the 2012 draft, I believe.
Yes. So he was calling it a shot that Austin Reeves is going to be better than Bradley Beal.
Horrendous. He has, his draft track record is fucking terrible. I can understand being moved by Austin Reeves because he was one of them ones back in them high school and college
Austin
days.
Rivers
That's a reason.
had one of the best high school mixtapes out there.
Yeah.
He was still a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Had a very clutch shot on ESPN. The signs were there. Bradley Beal was a 3rd overall pick and was a shooter,
Yeah.
sniper. So, I mean, listen, if you play this out over the next 15 years, yeah, he's probably ahead of like the Bradley Beal's overrated. You could probably get him there.
Oh, we're giving him half credit?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
Well, Bradley Beal was not overrated, though. He played very well for a number 3 pick, made an all-star team. So, like, he lived up to what you want from that draft pick.
I'm trying to find anything for Skip. This take is bad. It's not a good one.
Horrible take. F tier. Next up, Derek Fisher will prove to be a much better NBA head coach than Steve Kerr.
Oh, God.
Hey, man.
So around this time was when Steve Kerr was like betting for jobs, and I think he was being interviewed by the New York Knicks as well. I can understand the logic a little bit.
Why? He just pulled the shit out of thin air. What does he know about either of their coaching potentials?
Exactly, I agree. Because he's just like he's not a Steve Kerr guy. That's what it is, bro.
For
He's
what?
like, bitch made he got punched in the face by MJ. That's what I guess what it is, bro. And Derek Fisher never mind. We
didn't know about that till way later.
At this point, no.
Yeah.
But
You're right.
yeah, but listen. Sometimes you like to go to the casino. I'll put something on red, I'll put something on black, right? We'll see what happens. It's a 50-50 chance. Either he's better or he's not.
He didn't put it on white this time.
Exactly.
Yeah, this hilarious take. Just pull that out of thin air. It was just fire in the hole. It did not go well.
It happens.
Johnny Football will one day be bigger in Cleveland than his buddy LeBron ever was.
This is on the Mount Rushmore of Skip Bayless takes.
It's on the Mount Rushmore of anybody takes.
Yeah.
This is a seminal moment in sports media history. If you guys weren't there in 2014 for the Johnny Football hysteria, just know there is nobody more hysterical than Skip motherfucking Bayless. This is the pinnacle. He took it. Everybody was saying, oh, is Johnny Manziel going to be this? Johnny Manziel going to be that? Not only did he say Johnny Manziel is going to be a star, he's going to be the biggest star in the world, is what he said.
Why did he say bigger in Cleveland?
Because he got drafted to the Browns.
Yeah, I know, but he was so targeted towards LeBron James. Like bro, I understand like he does football too, of course, but why is he just mentioning LeBron every opportunity that he has? It just doesn't make any sense. I understand it, but man, he's just so targeted as a hater, and he's so committed to it.
What you call this is 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah,
exactly. Efficiency. I'm going A+.
Holy flop.
A+. Holy flop, correct. Also A+, correct.
When it comes to the skillfulness of hating, he has mastered the art.
Time out. What time is this?
Oh my God, 4:35 a.m.
He was up early, drinking his smoothies, dreaming about Johnny Football in Cleveland.
Brother, go take care of your wife, man. What is going on?
I'll say it again. Jay-Z is overrated. all-time great songwriter, lyricist, subpar performer of his music. Eminem better. Also, Nelly's better.
Hey,
Again?
listen, I'm not gonna lie. Listen, Jay-Z is my GOAT. Jay-Z being a subpar performer is actually a very real thing that people say and people believe. I don't think that he's overrated. I like Jay. He's kind of cooking though. It's not. This is not out of the insane things that he has said. This is not the craziest thing that he's ever said.
He said Nelly's better
You just
than
threw
Jay-Z.
in Nelly,
He
bro.
threw
What
Nelly
are we
in there.
talking
Why did he
about?
sprinkle in Nelly?
Again, it's at 2:52 a.m. So maybe he just listened to a banger
Crunchy
project
Grammar.
that he put out. So it's like, oh,
2:52 a.m. hyping up Nelly over Jay-Z. Get a life.
Yeah,
That's
brother.
crazy.
you're a sick man. You are
Sick.
sick.
Oh. Nelly? Why do you have to do that? Why do you have
This
to
is
sprinkle
a
Nelly?
This take would have been fine if he and better. I'm not even.
I'm saying
entertaining
2002
that.
Nelly was kind of different. Like,
This is 2010.
Yeah,
so what? He's talking about their careers. Like, it is what it is. I'm just saying this is not the worst. So on a real level, I think I might give this like a B. This man
It would have been a
this
B
man
if
was
he
going
didn't listen
diamond.
to
Like, he was out here. People were wearing Band-Aids on their face with no cuts.
I'll say it again. Jay-Z overrated, and you want to co-sign this as a Jay-Z fan?
I'm just saying.
All right, no, you picked your side.
There's worse takes on this carousel.
There is. Okay. And that's the last one. Apparently we ended on a good take. Apparently one that you co-signed, since you also think Jay-Z's overrated.
It's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, all I heard is you co-sign it.
okay.
I'm saying Nelly underrated.
Fair enough. Let's talk about Tyrese Halliburton.
No. It's not.
I'm going to name 5 NBA players, levels 1 through 5. You tell me who is better, Tyrese Halliburton or player X.
All right,
Who are you taking? Level 1, we got Tyrese Halliburton versus Trae Young.
I
All
mean,
the
he's just 6'7" Trae Young.
He just lapped him, just
Yeah,
clearly.
he's just better.
What if Trae Young was bigger, just as good of a passer, more efficient every way, played better team basketball, and was overall just a player you'd want on your team every time?
Tyrese Halliburton got it for now. It's okay. This is your year. Last year was your year as well.
So next year will be your year. Maybe the year after that.
I ain't saying all that.
But after that, it's back to my year.
2029, I'm coming.
We move. Let's go.
Hey, yo.
Level 2, John Morant.
Yeah, I think it's gone to a point where a lot of the consensus should be like, yeah, Tyrese Halliburton he's better. He plays a better brand of basketball that's more scalable on every level compared to someone like John Morant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Proof is in the pudding with this one.
Yeah, if this was last year and a half ago, it would be a real debate. Tyrese has really set himself up as like the standard for young point guards again. So I'm taking Tyrese over John.
Yeah, the level of ways that he makes players better around him puts him in a different tier than Ja.
I agree.
Level 3, Devin Booker.
Ooh, this is hard because they're damn near right next to each other. Fuck.
Halliburton has earned to get this, but this is close. If Booker was in a good situation, they could be neck and neck.
Yeah.
But because of what they've both done the last couple of years, Halliburton deserves to be ranked higher. But put Booker in the right spot. He could take that back.
I think I would still. The Suns situation is so dire
Yeah.
that you really do have to. You got to give him some grace. I think I would still take Devin Booker, but
I'll take Halliburton, I think.
it's close. I think I'm gonna take.
I think I would definitely take Devin Booker
I think I'm
still,
gonna take Book.
but it is close. It is close. I don't know if I want to fail this though because Tyrese is at like an all time. This is peak.
He's taking his team to the finals. The same thing Booker did, and he doesn't have Chris Paul. He doesn't have. Oh, I guess the teams are comparable
It's
levels, but he's
different
matching
to
his
talk about,
accomplishments. He's doing it 2 years in a row, going to the conference finals. I don't know why we wouldn't go Halliburton.
Peak for
right?
peak. Who's better? Peak Devin Booker or peak Halliburton?
Current Halliburton is better than current Devin Booker. We haven't seen peak Devin Booker in quite a while.
We'll go Tyrese.
Okay.
Yes, but if you're going like just in a back like a 2-3 year sample size, I think I would still go Devin.
If I was building a team today, I would take Halliburton, even if it's just for age. Like, I don't know that Devin Booker is going to get back to his best versions of himself.
That's
Man,
fair.
the
We
Suns
can-
are
we can
so
go- we
ass
can
and we're
go
saying shit
Tyrese.
like that,
I
bro.
know.
That's how bad the Suns are.
Yeah, we can go Tyrese, but I don't think this is probably as close
Yeah.
as it gets.
I go Tyrese. I don't feel good about it though.
Okay. Level 4, Donovan Mitchell.
Actually, I think I feel better about this than the other way around.
Yeah, I do too.
You got
I think I do too.
so another Tyrese Halliburton victory?
Tyrese Halliburton, congratulations. You pass this.
Yeah.
You pass
Again,
this.
both are like top 12 players in the NBA. They're ranked somewhere between 10 and 15, whatever it comes to for you. Tyrese Halliburton just makes players around him better and just shows that if you want to build a team that's going to win, the path with Tyrese Halliburton is very clear.
That sounds very wild. That like
Yeah.
all roads go through Tyrese, but it is like that. I mean, he's knocked out. He just knocked out D Mitch.
Yeah.
And the elevating of players really is the key for Tyrese. So I'll go him here.
Yeah, it's just he has a high floor and he can fit next to other stars. You know that. It's not to take away from D Mitch, but Halliburton is just super easy to play with.
Yeah.
Okay.
And level 5, Anthony Edwards.
Nope.
Not letting the propaganda hit you this far?
You could have a conversation with me, but that doesn't mean I'm listening to you.
We can do a lot of Halliburton glaze. I'll end it here. Anthony Edwards is better. He just had to play against the Thunder. We'll see what the Thunder do to Halliburton pretty soon. I think it'll be pretty similar.
Yeah, I agree with you. The two-way play, the playmaking.
I'm
that Anthony
praying
Edwards
it's
is taking-
similar. Please.
To kick his ass for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, Anthony Edwards is still top 7 player in the world, I think.
Yeah, there's a clear tier.
Hey, sure, whatever numbers.
There's a tier.
9?
Nah, he's higher than 9. Well, I guess if you want to say like Brunson's over him, I guess. But
Nah.
I'll go
I mean,
7 or
he
8.
is,
Can't do that.
but, like,
Depends on where I want to put Wemby is really what that comes down to.
I mean, Wemby's he's top 8.
Then Anthony Edwards might be 7. I don't know. They're close.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Next thing we're going to do. We are going to grade the 2020 NBA draft class 5 years later. We're going to go through the top 30 picks and we're going to grade what they've done so far, how good the pick has been. And we're going to do this really because Anthony Edwards and Tyrese Halliburton are on top of the goddamn world.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to take a lay of the land and grade every single pick in the top 30.
Okay, let's do it. There's a whole lot of fucking whopping F's in this shit.
So starting up top, we got Anthony Edwards.
A+.
A++. This is the right pick. I think during this time, he was always the consensus number 1 overall pick. Sheer scoring power. Around when he was in UGA, he was drawing a lot of comparisons to Victor Oladipo. Obviously, like he's blown past by that. He's been getting comparisons to Dwayne Wade as well. Obviously, he's still building towards that. He was the right pick, culture shifter. He's the all-time leading scorer, playoff scorer for the Minnesota Timberwolves now. Just realize that.
Yeah,
That's
that might be a little
sad.
bit more about the history of the Timberwolves than
Yeah,
it's him. But yeah, obvious A+. He's gotten everything that you want from a number 1 pick, Anthony Edwards, to check those boxes. They have zero reason to feel any type of regret about anybody that comes after this, including Tyrese Halliburton.
I agree.
Number 2 overall, James Wiseman.
This set their organization back by like 10 years. bro.
This is the worst pick of like the modern NBA just because of everything that was at stake here. What could have been the second wave to a dynasty that could have been created with this pick if they had taken one of the better players in this draft. This is one of the most consequential draft misses of all time.
Yeah, and it sucks because you can see where they're coming from. The one thing that the Warriors never had was some like actually wildly talented, athletic, 7-foot center to play alongside Draymond. And if you had that with Steph Curry, with Clay, with Draymond, you're like, oh, we're gonna be here.
Yeah.
And so you see what they were cooking.
That logic made sense. But a
Unfortunately-
lot of people who knew what they were talking about, even at the time, said James Wiseman is not who you think he is. He is not going to be able to play in that scheme.
Yeah.
And they were right. This was an F in the moment. People were confused. People that knew what they were talking about. And it's an F in hindsight.
It was a moronic pick. Even back then when James Wiseman was at the peak of his powers playing AAU ball, he was one of those players where like he is just so vastly he has an insane advantage athleticism wise and also like size wise against everyone else. And the second that he goes to college, he went to Memphis. He had an okay year, but he didn't play out the full year, and he didn't really like shore up on the things that people had questions about him, whether it be the finishing, whether it be the defense, I don't want to say IQ, but the awareness on the court. It just nothing was there. He just had raw potential and size.
Yeah. Number
Stupid
3,
pick.
LaMelo Ball.
Honestly, I'm still giving this an A for them.
Yeah.
I think
You said they should trade him this summer, and you want to give it an A? You can't say it's an A if you are advocating for them to trade the player 5 years later.
I think they should.
first of all, I can do whatever I want. that's one.
Yeah.
Let's make that clear.
No, but I mean, he's made an all-star team. As soon as he got there, they made the play in 2 years in a row. Granted, they got wiped out in them, but post Kemba, these last 5 years, especially those first 2 years, have been some of the better years in terms of like hope-filled years that they've had. I think that they also have a star that people can gravitate to, at least in your fan base. So you at least have that going for you. It's not like he's not Anthony Edwards. If that's the bar that we're comparing it to, then yes, it's probably like a B+. But in a vacuum, I do think that like that was the right pick for them to make.
Yeah, I believe he won Rookie of the Year as well. I think this was the right pick. Looking back, I obviously would have them change their pick, but it's not necessarily wrong. I still give this an A. Coming out of Lithuania, his biggest questions were his shot and finishing ability and all that, which some things are still into question. But already made an all-star team. He is the face of that franchise, one of the most popular players in the league. The question is just health, and that's it. And for that, I still give them an A.
I think if you could say they should change their pick, I'm not going to give an A. So I'll give them B+. Obviously, like, it's not a bad pick at all. But if we're grading it 5 years later, we have to gauge, I think the point of the exercise is how the pick is aged, what they've done in that time, and like kind of gauge their start of their career. I feel like B+ is fine. We know Tyrese Halliburton has been better. We know Anthony Edwards has been better. Yeah. So,
but the script could
it's crazy
flip.
Hindsight to say they should have picked Tyrese. Tyrese went way lower. So
yeah,
it wasn't the wrong pick, but it hasn't gone as perfect as it could. B+ was fair.
And it's just like simply like health reasons and also like front office issues that they've had.
I wouldn't say it's simply that. There's also some flaws in LaMelo Ball that hasn't necessarily gone better. So it's not entirely that, but it is a lot of that.
Yeah, it's mostly that. So that's why I'm like, I'm not looking at the pick saying, oh, you fucked up big time. Not at all.
Yeah, that's why I said B+. No one's saying they fucked up big time.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, who did fuck up big time? Patrick Williams at number 4. How we grade this for the Bulls?
I'm giving that a D, F.
F. This is an F for sure.
Dude, the Chicago Bulls thought they were way ahead of their time drafting him. He wasn't even mocked around this range at all. He flew up coming out of FSU because he was this big, rangy wing. Everyone thought, oh my God, he has a little bit pop to his game. His nickname was Paw at the time. Oh my God, he's the next Kawhi Leonard. Holy fucking F.
Dude, they talked to Tyrese Halliburton pre-draft and they didn't pick him.
Yeah.
There was rumors they would be talking to Tyrese Halliburton and potentially doing that. They went with Patrick Williams. This is an F tier. This is where the start of the Tyrese Halliburton head scratches come from. This is where you can start really regretting your decisions. Number 5, Alex Okoro. Number 5, Isaac Okoro. I think we're in it just a C. So it's a solid role player who's been pretty good for you. Didn't quite take a big jump. Hasn't been one of the core parts of your team, but it hasn't been a bad pick. That feels very C to me.
No, it just...
I think
if you have the 5th overall pick in the draft, you would want it to be
sure
a little bit better, but
that's why it's a C. Yeah, he's playable.
I give this a D because as each and every year goes on, it can't be a C because you're constantly getting demoted, bro. Like they're finding replacements because of you and your lack of a jump shot and your ability to hinder the team in a playoff landscape. Like you don't deserve to be a C.
Okay, D's fine. Onyeka Okongwu. Now that's a C. That's a player who is at all the potential in the world, hasn't quite taken the role. First, it was because he wasn't quite ready. Now he got it and he had a good year that we're starting to see progress. Mm-hmm. But I think, we can say C+, because we're starting to see progress now last year. C+ was very fair to me.
Yeah, C+ makes sense. He's gotten better every year, but not better in the ways that this team is needed to maximize the talent that's on our roster, you know?
You would have wanted him to steal the starting job like 2 years ago if he was living up to the potential.
Yeah, exactly. And I love the things that he's been doing. He's developed so much late into this past year. I'm okay with C+. Could end up being a B, but it's a slow burner, and that's not what this team needs.
Exactly. It's a C+, but the story isn't written yet, whereas some of these, the story is written.
Yeah.
So Onyeka can still get up higher. This time next year, it could look better. Killian Hayes, F.
Fast as fuck. Let's move on.
All I think about every time I see Killian Hayes is I remember... Kevin O'Connor saying he's the best player in this draft and being the Killian Hayes guy. So I always associate Killian Hayes with Kevin O'Connor.
Not gonna lie, I was a Killian Hayes guy too as well back in the day.
A lot of people were. Yeah, I saw the potential. I understood it. You know, French James Harden, lefty, didn't work out that way.
This is where that head scratching comes in. It's like you could have had Tyrese.
You could have had Tyrese.
Me personally, back in the day, I was comparing him to Drew Holiday, bro. I called him a lefty Drew Holiday. Defense is there.
You know who else could have had Tyrese? Obi Toppin at number 8, the New York Knicks. Drafted a older win-now rookie who was ready to contribute, and then they proceeded to let him walk like 3 years later because he did not contribute for them. Yeah, because they did not give him the chance and then let him walk. So the pick wasn't bad. The pick wasn't bad. The handling of the pick was moronic. What do we do with that?
I give this a D because if you wanted to sign Julius Randle the entire time in the offseason, why go ahead and force the hand and draft someone like Obi Toppin?
Yeah, it was a bad. Obi Toppin as a player gets like a B-. He's been a good role player. The New York Knicks picking him number 8 was stupid, all things considered. So I'll give that a D.
Yeah, I agree.
And for gauging how the 5 years went for the New York Knicks, he's on another team now. And I think didn't he walk in free agency? It wasn't even a trade.
I think I don't know.
Or was it a trade? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was a trade.
I don't know if it was a trade.
I don't remember at all, actually. That was a blank. Either way, the handling went horribly.
Speaking about handling horribly, bro, the goddamn Washington Wizards and how fast they gave up Deni Avdija.
Well, they traded him for a future first. Actually, no, for a first in last year's draft, right? Is that what became
Was it Keyshawn George or no?
Yeah, was it Keyshawn George or was it the Bud pick?
I don't know.
One of those.
One of those picks.
One of those they got from trading Denny. The pick was he really took a leap at the end of the last year with the Wizards and then this year with the Trailblazers.
Mhm.
So he's a really good player. At the number 9 pick, that's a solid A-, B+.
That's an A+ pick if you ask me. Because in my mind back then, everyone knew that he was a great athlete, had passing chops. It wasn't there yet. But what really was glaring was that he was so big and he had a great ability to get downhill and use straight force while also being able to do the little things outside of just simply putting the ball in the basket.
Yeah, just getting good players in the building. I'm gonna give you a
It's A.
yeah.
Okay, they sold high. They sold high, so they got value out of it at least. It's an A.
Yeah.
Jalen Smith, number 10,
F.
F tier. Clear. That was
That's
largely important, hugely important pick for where they were, and it was terrible.
that might be the worst pick on this board.
Shout out to Sticks, man.
And that one straight up should have been Tyrese Halliburton.
Mhm.
Or even Devin Vassell have been fine. F. We can start speeding threes now. That's an F tier.
Yeah.
Vassell,
I'll go B.
B.
B. Yeah, he's not that great. He's never taken a leap to being like a star. But at the number 11 pick, you can't have that type of expectation. He's been a good player. He'll be a good player for a long time.
They gave him They gave him a
huge
bag,
bag.
and at the minimum at this point, he's gonna be a trade piece to go
Yeah.
get him somebody else. So
Yeah.
he's good enough. So
It's
yeah,
average
I'm gonna go
value
B.
for the 11th pick.
Yeah.
So B-, I'll say.
Yeah, he was at FSU as well, and he was a super long, rangy prospect. I understand it. He is the typical Spurs pick back then. The jump shot has been up and down. It's been more up in the middle of his career, but it's not a bad
Yeah.
pick. It's not a bad pick.
Tyrese Halliburton, number 12, A++. Obviously, the steal of the draft. One of the bigger draft steals in a long time. Finding a top 12 player in the NBA as a number 12 pick. Outrageous value. Damn shame the Kings had absolutely nothing with it. Traded him for DeMontis Sabonis. Made one of the most boneheaded trades in a long time. That people convince themselves to win now.
Win-win.
That was a win-win.
Win-win.
It was not bad trade. They fumbled. But A+ draft pick. Good job, Kings. You identified the right talent.
Yeah, you just gotta handle the draft pick much better. It's
Yeah,
awful.
I agree.
All right, Pete, the Sacramento Kings future. 13, Kira Lewis Jr.
F. Holy fuck, bro.
Damn.
I understand the logic. You know,
He does not like him.
I liked him coming out of Alabama. Nice speedy guard. You know, he had a great handle. They were in need of that because, you know, I think they were just freshly getting off of Lonzo. Yeah, they just freshly got off of Lonzo Ball through the AD trade. And they're now looking for their next Drew Holiday replacement, trying to build up a core. He did absolutely nothing. And he's currently in the G League or D League. No, G League.
Damn.
So
Aaron Nesmith at 14. So Aaron Nesmith is obviously an amazing player. He didn't. The Celtics drafted him and didn't fucking use him, and
Yeah.
then traded him as a throw-in in a Malcolm Brogdon trade. So how do we gauge that? Is it a good pick?
I think it's a fantastic pick because coming out of college again, he was sniper from hell. He just didn't get much opportunity because of health issues. I give this they had a vision.
I'm going B just because you were able to get a solid player that then turned into Brogdon, that then turned into other stuff. So listen, you didn't use them, but also this is the 2020 Celtics where yes, they are kind of like rebuilding, but they were also in win now. Like 14 is
Was Gordon Hayward still here or no?
in 20 no.
Okay, no, I'll give this an A. They identified the right player.
Yeah.
Again, they fumbled the post-pick process, but they identified the right guy, and they got value for him at least. It turned into other stuff that got them to a championship eventually. We'll give it an A.
Yeah.
Cole Anthony, C-.
I mean, he's still like on the team, and listen, they have been looking for a point guard for the longest, and out of all the shots that they have taken, Cole Anthony's the only one that like continues to get any type of.
Cole Anthony won me a fantasy basketball championship when he went crazy at the end of 2021. It might have been the end of 20. It was before they got Paolo. They got Paolo in 2022.
Yeah, Paul's 2022.
End of 2021, Cole Anthony had a crazy stretch to close the year when they were tanking. They tanked and got Paolo, and he won me a fantasy basketball championship because I picked him up off waivers. A+. Thank you, Cole Anthony, for everything you've done for me in my life. You won me a couple $100.
And for being real, this is like a C or D.
Isaiah Stewart, drafted by the Trailblazers, but traded on draft night to the Detroit Pistons.
Tough.
For 16th pick, he's a great role player.
He's a perfect
still
pick.
contributing. That's an A-. That's a steal at number 16.
Yeah, he's grown defensively. I know when you think of Isaiah Stewart, you just think of like fist and all that and just straight up anger and aggression. But he's actually a valuable player on the basketball court.
Yeah, no, he's good. At many top points in the past couple of years, he's been a better defender than Jalen Duren and given them really, really great minutes off the bench. He's a big part of their culture shift, bringing back the bad boy vibes.
Yeah,
That's a solid A-.
I agree.
17, Alexei Pokusevsky.
Poku.
Poku, you know what? On the surface, this is an F. He's not good. He's not in the league. But he played a extremely important role in tanking for Chet Holmgren and successfully got them to the point where they're now in the NBA Finals. And by the time you watch this, they might win an NBA championship built off the blood, sweat, and tears of Alex Pokusevsky.
Poku died for this, is what you're telling me.
Poku-
And if you're looking at it through that lens, A+ pick.
The fruit that Poku bore,
The Paycom Center, that's the house that Poku built.
F, but A in our hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh Green to the Mavericks. Solid player
B?
that they
B.
didn't care that much about long term, but he gave him some good production.
Yeah, he's a solid role player who can
I'll
give
go
you
B.
like 15, 20 minutes a night. Can't
Yeah.
hit on Josh Green's game.
Yeah, solid B. Just a very, very solid rotational player. And for the 18th pick, that's what you should be looking for. Sadiq Bey at 19. At one point, it looked like it was a hit, and then he fizzled out really fast. Ended up on the Hawks. Ended up on a couple other teams.
Tore his ACL, ended up on the goddamn Washington Wizards now, I think. And no one's talking about him now.
D.
He did have like the most random 50-point game in the NBA.
He did.
He,
Shout out March basketball.
He did, like, back in the year 2020-2021, he was like the fastest rookie to hit like whatever amount of 3-pointers at the time. Skill ability, just like super unfortunate career. D for sure.
All right.
Precious Achua. Drafted by the Miami Heat. I think, was it draft night he got traded to the Raptors, or was that later?
I think it was later.
Yeah, you're right. No, he started on the Heat. Yeah. Wow, what a wild ride for Precious Achua. I can't remember what year he played for which team as a rookie.
Yeah.
Played for them, played for the Heat. Now he's on the Knicks. Being the most important thing about Precious Achua right now is he's a player that fans point to and say, we could try playing him. That's a curveball we can throw with him. He's always that guy in the back pocket that, let's give him a new look.
Rick
Yeah.
Carlisle has been trying to reverse psychology,
Yeah.
playing Precious. But I mean, he's a solid player. And I think like just for that same reason of like, hey, maybe we could try Precious tonight. Like,
Oh, did he get traded for Kyle Lowry? Is that how he got to the Raptors?
I think it was a part of it, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
No, Kyle Lowry signed there, I think. Kyle Lowry got a fat ass.
But was it like
Was it a signing trade? I don't know.
I can't.
Yeah, regardless of the fact, this is not a good pick.
Oh,
Shout out
Either
to
way we
Precious,
slice
bro.
it, this is a D.
Yeah.
Again, another steal of the draft. Tyrese Maxey, number 21.
A+,
Clear
probably
A+.
the steal of the draft, considering like where you're drafting. I'm going A+.
And considering how much it did for the franchise. If this team didn't draft Tyrese Maxey here after Ben Simmons flamed out with the team,
Hellhole.
I don't know if Joel Embiid would have stayed there quite as long as he did if they didn't get this all-star injected in the 21 pick.
Yeah, I feel like every draft expert back in the day could have predicted this because he is the common Kentucky guard who's overlooked because of whatever like skill that's lacking at that time, whether it be his passing or defense. Hey, man.
Size.
Yeah, size too as well. Like, hey man, he answered all those damn questions and he made an all-star team also.
A lot of people predicted he'd be good. Not everybody predicted he'd be an all-star. If that was the case, he would have went top 5. So like, yes, he checks the boxes of fast, small Kentucky guard that is usually good, but he really, really exploded through all the expectations.
Yeah.
22, Zeke Naji. They decided to draft him. He barely played, and then they gave him a 3-year extension that is now absolute dead money. And I remember when this was reported about his extension a few years ago, Woj reported it by saying, another successful development story for the Denver Nuggets. When there was no successful development in play, they just gave him money to do it.
This pick led to the firing of the GM and the head coach
It did.
of the Denver Nuggets going into the playoffs. I'm giving it an F.
If they didn't pay him, they probably could have kept KCP. This is a disastrous pick, all things considered. And the butterfly effect that led down from picking Zeke Naji, F-.
He's brought nothing but negativity to this franchise.
Sorry, Zeke. Leandro Balmoro.
Who?
I actually do not remember what happened with his career.
He, on draft night, went to Minnesota.
Oh yeah, he is a Minnesota pick.
Yeah. I cannot remember what happened to him.
Yeah, F.
And for that reason, it's
Zero
an F.
impact in the NBA.
Maybe it's a lack of ball knowledge. I simply do not remember, and I'm sorry.
Yeah,
RJ Hampton,
holy F.
another F. Another guy just didn't quite find a way to stick in the league. Had some moments, some athleticism on some tanking teams.
Yeah,
Didn't stick anywhere.
he was one of them AAU demons alongside like Jalen Green. who
AAU
just,
demons.
like,
Size charged.
was hyper athletic,
They don't play the game the right way.
cool ass mixtape.
Flashy.
Yeah, nah, he just
Typical.
F. A resounding F.
Emmanuel Quickly at number 25.
Listen, I still miss Emmanuel Quickly.
Traded to the New York Knicks.
It's an A. It's an A in my heart, but overall, it's actually like it's probably like B+ though. Like he was good. He was never the the true point guard of the future that like Knicks fans were like trying to
You got you OG. So
exactly again the handling of the pick A+.
oh, they sold at peak value.
I am so happy.
Sell high.
But he was great though. He also was never able to like fully be point guard one because as he was rising, then Brunson came in and so he started playing backup. So
Yeah.
I'll go B+.
Yeah, solid B+. If you're not going to be a star at this point, you can't get an A, but for 25th pick, the value is great. 26, Peyton Pritchard.
I'm going A.
A.
This is
Holy
a
fuck.
slow burn. For a while, he wasn't doing much, but now at this point, he's elevated to being one of the best shooters in the NBA, the best sixth man in the NBA, one of the best backup point guards in the NBA. Like, this is an incredible value now, this many years later. And he's cheap as hell because they didn't use him for a few years, so he couldn't earn a lot of money. So they got him on an extension for pennies. What a great handling of a pick now, I'm saying out loud.
This is the first special teams player in NBA history. Like he's awesome.
Yep.
All those half-court shots that he hit last year, bro, earned him a
Facts.
great reputation and gave him the runway of it's going to be limitless opportunity next year because Jason Tatum is out. So A+ pick, one of the best picks.
True.
in-
Fan favorite too?
2 years ago, if you
easy.
asked me who's a better pick, Emmanuel Quickley or Peyton Pritchard, it would not have been a conversation. But now I think Peyton Pritchard is the better player.
Yeah, exactly.
How crazy things change.
Wow.
Azubuike.
Oh, man. F. Next.
Forgotten pick. Jaden McDaniels, number 28, drafted by the Lakers on draft night, but traded to the Timberwolves.
Such an important pick for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
I forgot
man.
he went 28, A++. One of the best role players in the NBA. Outrageous value. That's an amazing trade. I don't remember what they traded up to get him, but it probably wasn't a ton. That is a fantastic pick.
I agree. This is one of those picks that you don't sit down and think about it. It didn't save the organization, but it saved them from a lot of mishaps happening going forward and helped fill in so many gaps for this team.
And to get him and Anthony Edwards at the same time, it's like you get Ant's keeper. You get his perfect defender to come help him out. Like, what a perfect duo to get him once.
Keeper's hilarious.
Yeah.
Number 29, Malachi Flynn to the Toronto Raptors.
This is the most random 50-point game in NBA history.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, it happened to me too. Damn, the Hawks. I remember that.
Yeah, you took the Malachi Hammer.
F.
D. He had a couple moments. He had some time. He again was part of their tanking endeavors to get Scotty Barnes.
Yeah, he was definitely one of those flyer picks. Like, hey, man, undersized guard, but the bag work is fucking crazy. I understand it.
Yeah.
Ended up being an F, though. No
Yeah.
need to say much.
And last but not least, not an F, Desmond Bane at number 30, drafted by the Celtics, but traded to the Memphis Grizzlies. Another steal of the draft.
At 30, again, the further and further you go down, it just gets a better steal and a better steal.
Yep.
So it's either between him or Tyrese Maxey as the best steal in the draft. It's an A.
The reason why he fell so low is because he was an older rookie at that point in time.
And he got little
And
arms.
also, like, yeah, the arms as well scared a lot of fucking teams, and they didn't know how that would protect as a
Scared
defender and all that. But hey, like, he's a fringe all-star, potential all-star, all the words like
Can you
that.
combine those for me real quick?
He's a fringe, low-key, borderline all-star potential player.
Yep.
And he is one of the guys, again, who's a very much helped bring up this Memphis Grizzlies culture that's, I guess, no longer a culture anymore. But important pick for sure.
No, he's great. Obviously, number 30 pick. They're not often this good as a player who can average over 20 points per game consistently. Clear A+.
Yeah.
There's a lot of steals in this draft.
Low key, not even low key, just a good draft.
It's a great draft, and it's a shame the Warriors got exactly 0 of these good players.
You had 3 All-Stars, 4 All-Stars actually.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's damn near better than average, bro. And then as
And a lot of
well-
good role players.
Yeah, this is a very quality draft. I like
Yeah,
this.
and for the fact that this was also the COVID draft and like teams couldn't like actually, like work out with players and it was just a different setup that you normally have. Shout out to these teams.
Shout out these teams. Next thing we're going to do. I'm going to name an NBA player, and I want you to tell me if they've ever made an all-star game.
Ooh.
Okay.
So these are guys obviously on the fringes, can go either way. There's a mixture of yes and no in this, so keep in mind it's not going to be all yes or all no. I wonder how you guys will do here.
You got to lock in.
Lock in. First name, Serge Ibaka.
No.
No.
Hell no. He
No.
never made one.
Hell no?
Nah, I remember he got a fat ass bag from Orlando and they expected him to be the guy. Fell on their faces. Hell
yeah,
no.
I'm going no.
He didn't do that.
Correct. Serge Ibaka never made an all-star game.
Yeah, it makes sense. The Thunder would never. Yes, they were great. They were never. We're gonna get Serge Ibaka into the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Great. So nah.
Roy Hibbert.
Yes. I think it was a 2-time All-Star too. Something disgusting.
It wasn't even disgusting. Roy Hibbert was nice. At
Fuck
that
that.
time.
It was disgusting.
Defense.
They were deserving picks.
Yeah.
Ew.
Defensively, Roy Hibbert was like that, and exactly
The game changed on him. He was from a bygone era, and it quickly changed on him, and his body gave up on him a little bit. But Roy Hibbert had some valuable years as a rim protector.
I hate that you said the game changed because I hate it because it's a little bit true.
It's 1,000% true.
When Roy Hibbert was at his peak, the entire NBA landscape learned the term verticality.
Yep.
He birthed Rudy Gobert.
If Roy Hibbert was drafted in 2000, he would have like 5 All-Star games. He would be a different player. Yes, he made one.
Remember when he was on the Lakers?
I do. Hey, guess what? The game done changed already when he was on the Lakers. The game had already been changed. Al Jefferson.
Yes, he was an All-Star.
Yes, he made 2.
Incorrect. He made 0.
What? He wasn't an All-Star?
Al Jefferson's probably the best non-All-Star ever. We forget about that.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and that's weird, right? Because it feels like he did. You guys so confidently said yes.
Yeah, I remember.
I was putting 2 All-Star games on his resume.
Yeah.
What?
You made that shit up out of thin air. He was never an All-Star.
I thought he did.
I assumed he did.
You know what's funny? He has an All-NBA selection. No All-Stars.
That makes zero sense. What the fuck?
Because centers had to be on it back then.
Yeah.
So 2014, he was third team All-NBA by default.
What was his averages?
21 points, 11 rebounds.
Hooper.
Yeah.
Or really, 22 and 11, 52%, 51% on twos, 20% on threes.
Now, if you want to talk about back to the basket, he is such an underrated name.
Again, from a different era. The game changed on him. Damn. Jalen Rose.
This is very because Jalen Rose had some years where he was legitimately good.
Yeah.
He had a lot of years where he was legitimately good.
No. I'm saying
gonna say he got into one.
at that level.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say he got to 1 All-Star game.
A singular one.
Incorrect. He's gotten to 0. He did
Damn.
win Most Improved Player, but he was not an All-Star in that season.
That's tough.
Damn.
Yep. No All-Stars for Jalen Rose. Just a really good role player for a long time. Damn. Chris Kaman.
Yes, he was an All-Star. He was a goon for a couple years with the Clippers. So crazy to say, but he was a goon.
Donovan.
He was an All-Star.
Does Chris Kaman ring off on your goon scale?
He was 100% an All-Star.
2 things. 1, relax. 2,
he was a goon back then for the Clippers.
I don't remember. I'm gonna trust him. I'm gonna say yes.
Yes, Chris Kaman made 1 All-Star game. I would not call him a goon. It was one of the weaker All-Star selections, but he was an All-Star.
Don't ever disrespect my ginger god ever again, bro. Don't ever do that.
Isn't his nickname like the janitor or something?
That's such a trash ass nickname. That's crazy.
No,
it's the caveman on Basketball Reference.
That was I'm tripping. I'm thinking about Brian Cardinal.
Yeah, Chris Kaman made it in 2010. 18.5 points, 9.3 rebounds. He shot 49% on twos.
That's he.
They don't make him like that no more.
That's he.
How do you shoot 49% on twos as a 7-footer?
I think he didn't shoot that much, but he liked to shoot a little bit.
49% on twos is crazy.
Yeah.
Listen, man.
He liked to shoot a
do
little
what
bit.
you got to do.
Exactly.
Shout out Chris Kaman. Lamar Odom.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
I don't think he ever made one.
Yeah.
He did not. Famously one of the best non-All-Stars. He did not make one.
Damn. Feels like he should have plenty of times.
Because he was a Laker, he had the aura of an All-Star for sure.
Yeah. The Lakers tax is crazy.
Yeah, big Lakers tax for Lamar Odom.
If he was in Detroit, he would have never even.
He's
had
actually not one of the
conversations.
best All-Stars, non-All-Stars of all time. But
No,
the
he's
Lakers
just,
aura.
he's just a good role player.
He's just
Yeah.
dope. He's just cool and was a Laker and was dating Kardashians, so he was famous. But he's not one of the best non-All-Stars.
Yeah.
He's not better than Jaden McDaniels, I don't think. He's like that type of player. Maybe he's a better scorer, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think Jaden McDaniels is the bad guy. Yeah.
No, he's that tier of really good role player.
Yeah.
Not one of the best to never make an All-Star game.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm yeah. I pulled Jaden Daniels on my ass. Maybe that's
I
not
know.
right.
Yeah.
But to point stands. Dennis Rodman.
No. Wait, I don't know.
That's a hard one.
Even though that he made DPOY.
Did he make any
gonna-
All-Star games in the Detroit years?
I'm gonna
feel like he
assume that he either had 1 in the Detroit years or he had 1 in the second three-peat with their if he made 1, I would assume it was in the 96 season. In 72 and 10.
I'm going to give you a hint. In 1996, he averaged 5.5 points.
But they were winning 72 games.
They were.
I'm gonna say yeah.
I'm gonna say yeah.
The
I'm gonna say
NBA
at least 1 for Dennis.
He made 2 All-Star games, both in Pistons uniforms when he was a DPOY.
Exactly. That's what I assumed.
He was DPOY in 1990 and second in DPOY in 1992. He was an All-Star in both those years.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm actually surprised he didn't make it.
He was actually an All-Star in 19. I mean, he actually DPOY in 1991 as well. In between those 2 years, because he won 2 back-to-back DPOYs, was not an All-Star for the second DPOY.
It's interesting.
A lot of that because All-Star is in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Like it always messes some stuff.
Also,
up.
in that second All-Star year, he averaged 18.7 rebounds.
Damn.
He's a monster.
18.7 rebounds.
Dude, that's insane.
Yep. Fred VanVleet.
Yes, he made a singular All-Star
He
as
did.
a Raptor. I remember that like vividly for sure.
He got to 1. And last but not least, Mo Williams.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, a singular All-Star.
I think he did make 1.
Yep.
I'm saying yes.
I don't remember who it was with, but I believe he was an All-Star.
You should know who it was with. LeBron James got him to his All-Star game in 2009 when they won a lot of games, and he got voted the second All-Star because the team was good enough.
What was that?
Damn.
It was like 66 wins.
Yeah, something huge. He averaged 17.8 points and 4.1 assists.
Hey man, Hooper.
Oh man, that's such
Well,
a charity
LeBron had an All-Star
game.
teammate. Why didn't he win? No, LeBron made an All-Star teammate. That's what happened that year.
Yeah, that's
It was kind of like how Shea got J-Dub an All-Star this year. But no, that is what happened. But J-Dub is better. But like the counting stats weren't there. He got it because the team was so good because the star was an MVP. Same type of thing with Mo Williams.
yeah.
But at least J-Dub's all NBA defense. So there's that.
Yeah,
And
J-Dub's
they
a
lost
different
to
caliber.
Dwight Howard.
What could have been a Kobe LeBron NBA Finals?
Choked.
Damn. Mo, I believe you have one more TikTok for us today relating to Shea.
Yes, I do. Speaking of Shea, I am going to have a list of point guards for you right here on my device, and I'm going to ask you guys, would OKC be better or worse with this player instead of Shea?
Okay. So just replace him 1 for 1. Nothing else changes.
Yes, exactly. The same exact lineup. You got Lou Dort, Caruso, whatever the array is, iHeart, Chet, and J-Dub. How much better or worse would this team be without Shea?
Okay.
With this player. First player up, Steve Nash.
They would be worse. Just because Steve Nash isn't the scorer that Shea is.
Yeah,
And so-
the way the roster is constructed, you need somebody that can carry a lot of isolation scoring load because they don't have a lot of other like play finishers in that way. So I don't think Shea like Steve Nash doesn't have an Amari Stoudemire to finish pick and rolls with on this team, so it's not super well suited for him.
Okay. I like the play finishers talking point because they do not have that at all. You're correct about that.
Yeah, Steve Nash should be kicking it out to the corner, watching Lou Dort miss a lot, and it would not be fun time.
Damn, I thought that was gonna be more of a pushback.
Well,
because of that.
but
I mean,
like,
Steve Nash, you could say Steve Nash is better, but I think this team is like tailor made for Shea. You're gonna need a go to scorer for this team, otherwise you're gonna struggle a little bit.
But if you put Steve Nash in this area where we've kind of like also empowered
True.
if you like empowered the point guard to score more, he might be able to be like that go-to scorer. I still do think it's gonna be worse because Shea's like that good at scoring.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be a crazy drop off.
They could also win 60 games with Steve Nash. Like they would 100%
Yeah.
still be really great. It just wouldn't be better enough to where I'm gonna say we can switch him out for Shea.
Yeah, I think they would rely on. They need some level of elite ISO scorer, and they would lean on J-Dub a lot for that, which is not the greatest. For an 82 game series, so I can agree with you guys. Okay, next
That was
name,
close. That was close.
Prime 2017 Russell Westbrook.
Worse. Shea's better. Not a hot take. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get attacked, but I know we love Russ. Russ is great. Russ deserved his MVP. It was for carrying, not elevating to a 68 win level. Shea's just a different caliber of efficiency as a player.
Do you not think Westbrook would be able to carry in the same light as
To
Shea
68
right now?
wins? Fuck no.
68 wins is a lot.
That's hard.
So I'm gonna say worse, but I don't think that they would be bad.
Yeah, they'd be a good team for sure. For sure, a good team. But we're talking about Shea taking them to the finals.
Yeah.
And we're not even recorded this yet. They probably won the finals. We think that'll happen. So like, it's a different different level that we're talking about.
I think Russ, he does fill in a few more gaps that Shea doesn't when it comes to rebounding. I think the style of play would be a lot different with someone like Russ in there.
Definitely.
Chet would be he would be an all-star with
Oh yeah,
Westbrook.
Chet
Like,
would have he would make
eat.
Chet so much better.
So I don't know. I genuinely don't know, because if Chet's elevated naturally like that, I don't know, man.
Bro,
That's
Shea
tough.
carried them to a number 3 offensive rating in the league.
You're right.
With only other player that could dribble on the team is J-Dub. The carry job Shea did this year is outrageous.
Russ is damn near the king at carrying shit though as well.
Russ is the king of carrying guys to
Dog shit.
averageness. We're not seeing Russ elevate solid role players to one of the best teams in regular season history.
Man.
That's a different skill set. It's a different skill set.
But also having like just ball hawks like Lou Dort, Alex Caruso.
That's what
Like,
I'm saying. Like Russ,
with
Russ is
his
out
help
here playing-
too.
Bro, Russia.
No, go ahead, say it.
That's like that's not a complimentary group of talent for Russ's offensive skill set. Like,
I mean, it is. All you're asking the Lou Dorts and all that stuff to just sit there and catch and shoot. That's all
they're
you
not
have to
going to
do.
help off. So this team works because you cannot let Shea attack in single coverage, or he's going to dice you up all game. So you have to let these guys get open. They will let Russ attack in single coverage and against a playoff defense. He will have to
Yes.
ISO score, and it won't go well.
He would have to ISO score. I think it would go well a lot of times because you got Chet there, and you would have to. iHeart could not. He could exist on this roster, but he's coming off the bench. So I think the opportunities for Russ to eat
I
is
agree.
there.
I agree with that. And I also think 68 wins is a lot. So ultimately, I'm gonna say worse. I don't think that they would be bad though, because
Yeah, no, definitely not.
the guys that Russ was playing with, like that's worst team in the league type of roster without him. This Thunder team, even without Shea, and you insert like an average point guard, you still have guys that you could look at and be like, that's a DPOY candidate. That's a borderline all-star and J-Dub, whatever. So I'm gonna say worse, but I don't. It's not a disrespectful worse.
Yeah, I'm not saying they'd be bad. They'd win 55, 58 games. They'd be a great team. They would be a lot easier to guard in a playoff setting.
They would be
A lot easier to guard in a playoff setting.
Yeah, they would be. But back then too, Russ still did have his jump shot. Now Shea obviously is still the better 3-point shooter in general, but that isn't necessarily a gaping hole. I think I like the consistency of Shea offensively and how he knows exactly how he's gonna like stealth you down. When it comes to Russ, is a little bit more variance. Okay, next we have prime James Harden. It's tough. It's tough.
I think prime James Harden is better, but it's tough because we're seeing Shea do what he never could in the playoffs and get over the hump and not have the variance that led to the Harden downside. But then again, Harden had to play the 17 Warriors. Shea hasn't, so I don't know if I can hold that against him.
I think if you gave James Harden, if you gave him J-Dub and Chet
and this much defense, Harden could do it.
He could do
Cruz
it.
on the side.
He could do it. I think they could get to 68 wins.
Yeah, I think they could be just as good with Harden.
Yeah, and even wins regardless, because obviously like to get actually I can't even say that because everybody was hurt this year and like it really is on Shea, but they would be as good.
Yeah. They reach the same heights with both. They can win a
yeah,
championship with
prime
both.
James
But
Harden.
would they be better with Harden though?
They might just because
It's hard to be better than 68 wins in a potential championship.
I understand that, but you do have Harden, who is a good scorer himself. You still have all of the free throw attempts that you would have with Shea. The playmaking from your point guard is an upgrade, and like they don't really have anybody
from
like
anyone.
that.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
so having that with Harden, that's something that you don't have on this team, and an element that they don't have. Now, the interesting part would be how much does the defensive drop off go? Because then like the one thing that you need James to do, or that you were asking him to do in terms of like guarding the post, you don't necessarily need that because you have J-Dub, you have Chet, you have four other options that are much better than that. So what does that look like?
I think we talked a lot about the playmaking with Steve Nash, but he didn't have the scoring bag. James Harden has both. I think prime James. Yeah, they'll be a little bit better with James Harden. It's hard to be better than 68 wins, the second best net rating of all time, the third best offense, and the first best defense in the league.
Yeah.
You can't really get better than that, but I think they would be equally accomplished, and you could say slightly better with Harden.
Yeah, I think slightly better because he just gives someone like Chet, who you guys have been clamoring as the second best player. In general, he should be the second best player as time goes on for OKC. He will unlock the living fuck out of someone like Chet. Chet would average like 22, 23, damn near 25. All the catch and shoot three opportunities, the vertical threat opportunities as well.
That's the
him
big
as
thing.
him as a backline defender, still nothing changes as well. I think that's what unlocking Chet puts this OKC team with James Harden to another tier entirely.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah. Last player, you got Luka Doncic.
That's a hard one.
Current Luka Doncic?
Say Luka Doncic from last year when he was in the MVP ballot, putting up like 34.
See, that's very hard.
I have no idea what to
34,
do with that
10 and
hypothetical.
9.
I have no clue what to do with that.
Well, okay, so I said on Tuesday that I think third place MVP Luka was better than Shea this year.
Yeah.
They're so close.
Yeah, it doesn't translate 100% 1-to-1, but I think that version of Luka with that playmaking and that just shot making still does a lot of stuff. And
they play similarly too. They attack in isolation in similar ways, so you can still have the same style of offense.
I'll say yes, better, I guess.
Yeah, you're right. They do play similarly,
but
in terms of.
But Mark Dagnall really requires his defenders to get out there. I mean, Mark Dagnall really requires his point guard to get out there and defend and like be aggressive on ball screens. Is there going to be lost value there in putting Luka there instead of Shea?
I mean, 100%.
Well, the playmaking
he
value
won't guard. He won't guard anybody.
Yeah,
but the playmaking is like tenfold.
Yeah, I mean, I the passing is tenfold, but Shea, in terms of creating shots, was as great as anybody by his scoring gravity and like getting people open and making the right passes. Like there was no, you don't really long for a better passer there. Like Shea didn't give you any reason to be like, if we had a better passer, we hit another level. Like he makes up for it in other ways as a driver of offense.
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. They'll be better with last year's version of Luka.
Yeah, it's not crazy.
It's a tough combo.
I think that maybe just as good. So I'll say no because I think you have to be actually better to get it. But I think they can be equally as accomplished.
Okay. Yeah, I think having Luka there would either be equally as accomplished or better. But for this question, I'm having better. It's tough.
And there we have it. If you're still here, comment about that question because I want to hear what you guys think about that. Would the Thunder be better with Luka or Shea as a point guard?
Yeah,
that is a fun debate.
Luka.
That's a fun debate. Let's say James Harden is clearly Harden. We'll give him that.
Yeah,
Luka's like, right? He's like similar to Harden but different. I want to hear about that debate.
Yeah.
With that being said, we'll see you guys next week.
Look out for
check out the Combine interviews. They're out tomorrow. Told you guys earlier. Let's do it.
Shout out to your twin, Isaac.